Right, hello, hello. Looking away, great, thank you. All good. Hey, long shot, what's up? You're doing well?
Your repurposed freighter drifts through space. As you stare out at the star-flecked void,
Hi.
another ship comes in.
Wait, hello.
Is this sci-fi? I thought we agreed on a World War II campaign.
I know we'll have one of two, maybe
Did we?
both, but Tim and Jeff will
That's
both
cool.
be.
I can pivot.
I
Okay.
think they'll both be coming on,
The
yeah.
smell
Yeah?
of smoke
Cool.
I know Jeff
hurtles in your
definitely.
nostrils.
Hold
Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign. All right, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago,
Yeah,
taking with
I
them
saw
all
that.
forms
That was
of
a
advanced
good list.
technology. Earth survivors
We can
scrape
pick
by
all
with
of them.
historic tools
Yeah,
and
yeah,
new
definitely.
Not have enough for
plague
2
abandoned
months.
nuclear
Yeah.
Definitely,
sites.
it's good.
Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar: a veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters. How did you do that? I have the right tools for the job. A story once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape.
Gary put the campfire. I'm not sure I get this topic. Well, maybe I don't either, but I just keep it light. My brain.
Which one?
Gary Williams on campfire. Yeah, I just need to keep it light tonight. So, that's it. Hey man, hey there. I'm working on the schedule for this week. I'll probably have something by tomorrow night. Games and all. So it'll get worked out. What's up? Let me set up. Let's see. Money timer. Wade's kind of set. Test D&D. There you go. Whew. 5 streams. Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. I missed my cue there.
POV, I had 30 minutes before my campaign group showed up, and I was totally
Jeff said he'd
unprepared.
be on like 7:15.
I grabbed my ready set encounter box and boom, everything I needed for an epic session. Adventure hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our great dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter. POV, I had 30 minutes before my campaign group showed up, and I was totally unprepared. I grabbed my Ready Set Encounter box and boom, everything I needed for an epic session. Adventure hooks, map tiles, loot tables, stat blocks, and miniatures, all ready to go. My players still think I spent hours planning our great dragon encounter. If you're a busy dungeon master, get Ready Set Encounter live now on Kickstarter.
Right. A lot of other things on tonight. You know, like Control Lords running.
Okay.
I'm like,
Hello.
I got you there. Good. Yeah, I'm hoping everyone's done it. Got some sagging. I second here. One second here. I'm looking for something on my machine. I'm trying to find. It's like a needle in a haystack. So if I got to try to find it after. I'll look for it later. I couldn't find what I was looking for. No big
Uh-oh.
deal. You know,
Yeah.
it's probably on the downstairs. Maybe I don't know. How's everyone doing? Sixth stream of the week. Sixth and final. Yes. Hope everyone enjoyed the stream last night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Tiffany did a great job running it. Ed was hysterical as normal. Yeah. I barely did anything today, and I had a lot to do. But Amanda, you did do your experience, so
I think it
Six of
was also a
March,
great example of introducing another rule system and work with
yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Which ties into today's topic. Yeah.
That does.
Mhm.
So this is going to be like an open discussion. I don't want
Yeah.
this to be a war, even though I said that, but I'd
No,
rather,
but that's we've had so many flame wars, and I also want to emphasize this from a different direction.
yeah, please.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a bit like it's like finding the best car, and some say, oh, the Ford, the Ford Model T was the best one, and someone said Tesla, meaning it's first of all, it's everything is of its time, and the other thing is, what do you want it to do? And the needs change, and meaning
Yep.
your needs around the table change. You might change game groups. You might simply, now I played a certain way. I want to test to play another way, or I want to play another type of campaign and stuff. So I see the rules as a tool set. It's one of the tools in your arsenal to run a good game,
So true.
a very essential tool. But it's still a tool, so you should simply see what tool is best for you and your game group now might not be definitely not be the best tool for another game group, or maybe not even for your game group 5 years from now or 10 years from now. So these are things that so I am, for me personally, meaning every time I started playing a new edition of D&D or Pathfinder, or run my GREYHAWK campaign with the new set of rules, I always thought, oh, this is better. This is better tool than the previous one. And then some years later, I was like, nah, the aspects to this I don't like. And then comes another tool and it's a new shiny thing, and it's like, oh, it's awesome, and it solves all the problems. And it took me, which says something about my thinking of this, that it took me 30 years to figure out what I really wanted, so to speak. So
Wow.
and that is something that, yeah, it took me 10 years into third edition, or at least 5, 6 years into third edition, when 3.5 had been out. So somewhere around 2005, 7-ish, something like that's when I felt that I played long enough that I started to look at the rule set as a tool set, not as oh, this is the game, this is the right way to play, or the wrong way to play. I started seeing it, okay, it's a tool in order for me to have fun with my friends around the table.
Yeah.
And that changed how I looked at things, so to speak. And then came fourth edition, and that was the first one I took a sober look at, not just like, oh, it's a new shiny tool and it's a new cool thing. So fourth edition is the first one that I tried to more critically kind of analyze before I actually put it to the test, which it's also the first one that after playing like 30 sessions, I said, no, it's not for me.
It's and some people go people go a lot of different directions, and there's nothing wrong with that. As you're saying there, Amanda, Nat one's the original Aftermath system, the post-apocalyptic world that Tim used to DM for me back in the 80s. That was, ones were good, 20s were bad. Yeah, so it's like there are some that are reversed. So and then Dale says, well, he was 3.5 mostly. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you gravitate toward what you like, and then either try and improve on that, or look for something else down the road. But like, I don't know most DMs aren't content. Yeah. Oh, Dragon Maid's reverse too. That's cool. Most people aren't content with just sitting pat as far as a DM. I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about as a DM.
Yeah.
Always trying new things. Like, I'm always adding stuff. Always.
I was going to say, Jay, you take it another route. Instead of simply saying, oh, I don't like, oh, this is a new shiny thing, and adopting it. You simply say, okay, I have this. it works, but I want it to work better. And then you kept tweaking it over decades, so to speak.
True, absolutely. I'm hot in here. One sec.
Yeah, I turned on the fan at the door here, so I have a little fan that blows in because the rest of the house is much cooler than my room that is heated
Sorry
up
about
by
that. It's just
desktops and stuff.
freaking hot.
Yeah.
I had the
Hmm.
fan on. I thought it would be cool in here, because I was
Yeah.
cold all day, chilly all day. It's one of those days where you sleep late and then that ruins the day. Like I got up so early yesterday, and
Yeah.
then I was ready to rock and roll that game yesterday, both games, and I just crashed at night. And I was like, "Bleh." But yeah, so the only rule I saw in 4E I thought was interesting was the minion rule. So I had a talk with Mike Shea about that, and Mike Shea liked what's the rule called where the task rule where you got to get so many completed, like
Yes. Yeah.
he liked that in
Yeah,
fourth.
and that
Yeah,
is an aspect that I
yeah,
like about 4E. 4E was when it comes to D&D editions, there are two editions that was very experimental, that kind of went overboard and changed things drastically. And that was third edition and fourth edition. The other editions have been much more conservative in kind of rule set, meaning they try to, okay, we have this and we want to keep the mechanics. But third edition introduced feats, they introduced skills in a whole new way and stuff like that. So they simply switched out a lot of the basics in D&D. And fourth edition, they added a lot of cool new concept like minion rules. They switched out. They standardized how everything works. So you get like and so on. And there were a lot of small little rules that I really like in fourth edition. But overall, it was not the one for me. Hello, Jeff.
Grim
Hello.
Smuggle, Jeff Moore's on. What's up, man?
Hey, not too much.
Not too much. That doesn't sound good.
No, actually, there's a lot going on. I was just out at Gaming Cafe lining up a bunch of stuff for a campaign finally to get started, and
Nice.
Okay.
working on a solo play deck game for solo play D&D, as
Oh,
well
that's
as kind
another
of a
interesting game.
randomizer.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Frank Metzer at
Page.
what was the con? Thank you, Paige. I heard Frank Metzer go, "What about single player?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "I guess that's a thing." Okay. And it just organically came. So a lot of good stuff, and trying to finish this darn third module. So a lot of good stuff cooking.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
trying to gear up for concoction.
Yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
that's coming
Right
up
around
in a
the
couple
corner.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
and that's something I never tried solo play D&D. I never tried that, and solo play any role playing game, so to speak. Without, are you talking with DM one player or just the player? And
No, it's literally like solitaire for D&D.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of very curious how that actually works in practice. So yeah,
Yeah.
It's something that is cool to do, but like, for a limited time frame for some of us never gonna
yeah. I don't know if I will like it or
enough
not
time.
because I don't know enough to even start judging it, or I definitely never played it, so I can't rule it out. Or yeah,
Might be one of those things that looks really good on paper,
yeah.
and then you get
Right.
into it and go, yeah.
Exactly. I might like it or I might not like it. I don't know enough to even start saying or having expectations one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, Dale, I really think fourth edition was well in D&D form, World of Warcraft. I mean, it just felt it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very glad they did fourth edition because it gave me ideas that I have used ever since. But on the other hand, it's never been my daily driver in D&D, and it never will be
You know who
because
else is
it's not.
very
Yeah.
happy that they did fourth edition? Paizo.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that
Yep.
gave them the Pathfinder jump there.
Oh yeah,
so,
meaning it kept them up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you played with 4 months, huh? Wow, okay.
Yeah, that was
and-
something like that. I ran it for a couple of months to see if it was good enough
Yeah,
for me
nah.
to. So we ran like 30 sessions or something like that over like 6 months,
Nah.
and more or less in parallel with reading the Pathfinder 1 playtest rules and working with that. So we kind of ran it. I studied Pathfinder in on and then ran 4E on the side and decided
Wow,
nah,
Rob, I didn't
4E
realize
is
that
not for
long.
me.
3 years. I didn't know it was that long, man. Wow. 3 years of playing fourth. Yeah. So Jeff, what editions you played? First, second, and fifth?
Yeah, first, second, and fifth. I remember looking at third edition, not a fan. Fourth edition kind of didn't have any awareness of, but fifth edition came kind of back. So yeah, first, second, fifth.
Okay.
Yep.
It's cool.
And
I've played I played first edition AD&D, basic red box, second edition, third edition, 3.5, Pathfinder 1, a little bit of fourth edition, and a little bit of fifth edition. And
I mean, I'm not
barely
gonna
no
count one
5.5.
shots
So
and
yeah.
invites and stuff like that. But for me,
Yeah.
Holmes Basic 1E2E. That's it. You know,
Yep.
I mean, I played a fifth edition game at GaryCon.
Yeah.
I
would say
playtesting something, but
yeah, I would say run
Yeah,
my
run
GREYHAWK games
campaign
in, and
settings and
people
stuff like
run
that,
meaning
yeah.
more than a year, more than 50 sessions in each of these. So
That
yeah.
doesn't mean that I am going to bash other editions, especially when I love stuff that are in certain editions and pull them back into my game. You know, and that's kind of where I think we can go with this discussion tonight. Then that's part one. The other part we're going to talk about is your play style.
Yeah.
We're going to do, hey, Mandy, good to see you.
I think they tie in, but there's it's like a Venn diagram. There's an overlap in the middle, but there are definitely a lot of issues on either side that don't overlap, so to speak.
Yeah. So, all right, the three of us, let's describe. Anna, start off. Describe your play style.
My play style is very sandboxy. I would say mid-crunchy. I like a little bit of tactical play, but not excessive, so to speak. So to some degree, mid-tactical, a lot of sandboxy. I don't like a story. I like the free flow. You go where you want, and you deal with the issues you feel appropriate, that the party feel appropriate. I'm also very location bound, so to speak. It's centered around an area, and it's very much like going on an expedition and going on a hike through a landscape, so to speak. So, and I treat indoor and outdoors are the same. Everything is like a huge dungeon in my games, so to speak. So you kind of go from room to room, or you go along a road. That will be like going through a long corridor in a dungeon play, so to speak. And that is something that and also I try to become more and more interested in running like a version of the West Marches style, where you take a bunch of you take characters and you cannot check them out, you play them for some sessions or a shorter campaign, and then okay, now I've promoted the story forward, so to speak. So that is the and I also like to deal with big issues on a small scale, so to speak. So like big things like war between nations, big politics and stuff in a small scale. This is that big political struggle in this little village or that cult or whatever it is. And so I tie it into that. Those are things that I'm kind of curious and
interesting.
And yeah.
All right, Jeff, how about your play style?
I would say, and I mean, lately, I'm still developing it, but I would say that I am more story driven.
Okay.
And when I say that it's story driven, but I have the world, the sandbox. I have the sandbox to support the story so that trivia, if things kind of go and make a left turn, the players have a little bit of agency, but all in all, I'm really trying to kind of keep them focused on a story. However, I can pull a sandbox because of this bad boy right here, which you can't see because the camera's not in focus.
Yeah, but I'm going to say you produce some really cool stuff that that kind of smells very sandboxy to me. So
yeah. I kind of went through that whole panic phase of what if they don't want to go there? Now what do we? And so I wanted to have what started was making a clean spot of, well, I'll just start with a couple of local villages nearby in case they say, I want to fish and let the world burn. But then it began to just fractal out, and that's my jam. I love systems. And so getting back into the world, it really gave me the ability to sandbox anywhere if I want to. That gives me the flexibility. But so far, I'd say story-driven first, then sandbox. If they go, can't we just take a break from saving the world and just meander around?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. Now, for me, with more and more outside people playing, right? Yes.
That's true. That must have, streaming, and now it becomes like a thing in itself that way.
I don't want to be the. Should I be the dick? I'm going to be.
Go for it.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing the West Marches style for 40 frickin' years, so it should be named after something I'm not that West Marches, really, because that's what the style's been all along.
Mm-hmm.
Pools of characters, multiples,
Yep.
whoever's available, we run that. Even if it was in the middle of an adventure, you know, the joke always was Walt was away the first half of the adventure and would come in the second half when all the treasure was. That
Meaning
was
you started doing it before it was fashionable. So.
Yeah, exactly, because that's just the way with real life. And to keep it going all this time, it was impossible to do it any other way. You know, and that's another thing what I say to streams. Do not cancel because one or two people have called out. You got to keep it going. People are relying on you for entertainment. You know, you have to be regular. All right, so once in a blue moon, you're not. It's okay, you know. Just that's the way I see it. But for me, it is a semi-railroad because I have to tabletop, miniature terrain based with a story driven. And normally my stories are small bits and pieces of an area in GREYHAWK, not greater picture in GREYHAWK. So it's what's happening in the Lort Mills, what's happening in Altamira, what's happening in the Sus. It's not. This is going to be the end of the world at GREYHAWK. We're not fighting IUs to save the world, right? It's not. Right. I don't want to go there. I want to go into the small area picture story. That way I can control it. That way I can develop it, and I'm not affecting the grand canon or of the setting. So it's like the question I always get is, was Rary still out in the Bright Desert? The answer is yes. And hey, if an adventure group wants to tell me, you know what, we're kind of interested, maybe we want to go out and hunt them down. All right, I'll set up something. But it's like, that's kind of, there's big picture stuff out there that can be done, and sometimes we'll hit it. But I've been like to tell some stories in the past. I mean, that's been a new direction for me. I like to develop the area that I'm running, whether it's we have a couple of adventures, GREYHAWK and Harby, Vesby, Shieldlands, the Altamira area, Pomarsh, wherever it is. That's kind of my style. And 1E2E with a heavily modified 1E2E. I get this from some of the ultimate purists. I've gotten this from gosh, I'm not gonna name names. I won't. I don't want to do that. No, Jeff, this is serious. So
you've got a reputation to hold now, Jay. You've got agreements.
2 Gary Cons ago, they put together a 2. Let's have all the people who are playing DMing 2E. We're going to get together and form a cabal on it. And I said, well, hey, I'm playing a 1E2E system, and a big name person said that's not 2E. I'm like, what? Because I have what? Yeah, because I'm running a 1E2E hybrid. Yeah, I was like, wow.
Like, what, characters are now assigned to different editions and ages? Hey!
This is what you get for some of the old schoolers, Jeff. So, yes, like this dude below. Watch this. All right, Tim, is my system more 1E or 2E?
I think 1E.
Yeah, you're right. It's 1E. It's more 1E.
Yeah, I think it's more 1E than 2E. Yes, I think it's more 1E than 2E. Yeah.
So I just got a text from Tim. I won't even. I'll be jumping on. Sorry, I'm doing something now. I won't say what it was. You got your hair slicked back and all. So yes, there you go. PNBC.
Biological.
Yeah. Biological. Yeah. So what is the difference for it? There's a big difference. There's a big difference between 1E. There is a big difference between 1E and 2E. Yeah. More 1E with lots of 2E spells. Yes. All back converted.
But Jay, it's interesting. You kept most of the mechanics of 1E, but you added a lot of the cool extra stuff from 2E. Yeah, which are and that's something we have to come back to later on. That distinction. So,
here's what happens in 2E. The wizard, most spellcasters are specialty spellcasters: evokers, necromancers, illusionists, diviners, right? All that crap. Now, some of them are subclasses. I like to keep them, but then they have access to spheres. You have no control over knowing what they're going to cast. You don't know, right? The character, unless you really take a look into their spell books, because it's all over the place. I've back converted that so that I have spell list for every class. That's a 1E thing. So yeah.
For specialty priests, right?
And mages.
You're right.
Remember, the Evoker, the Abjurer, they're all in 2nd edition, right?
Yeah.
And they are all I didn't really like it. I prefer a specific class with a spell list in 1E rules. Another thing I don't like about 2nd edition, everything's in yards. Hate it. I like feet. Same spell.
Oh, that's true. They put it in yards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same, and that and I think that's where maybe Luke got on the argument on Mel Sassadaro, originally was at 60 feet, but I think he said, "Oh, outdoor you can cast at 60 yards." I'm like, nope. So yeah, no, Wolf. I have an anti-foot fetish. I hate feet, so don't even go there, man. So yeah. Yeah, tonight's show has 200% more New Jerseyans. It's actually
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, Michael Z. Yeah, Mike. Hey, Mike, you want to make it 300%? You're bored. Hop on. So there you go.
Representing all the
you need to
exits of New
replace
Jersey.
me. I'm an outsider. Yeah.
So that's one aspect of a change between. He's probably gonna use the bathroom. Oh no. Between 1 and 2.
My camera's acting up.
Yeah. Why is that? What are you doing for that? All right, so that's my description.
Probably some update.
That's my description of how my game goes. It's West March's style. Because I stream so much, and those games are not lineal. Where I have the same group of players. Very rarely. I've been lucky with doing multiple Thursdays or a Thursday Saturday game with the same players. Getting 2 sessions together with the same players is rare, right? And so that's about as far as I've stretched it. So yeah, you need to give me a new shout out there, man. So just give it to me whenever. Tim, you there?
Yep.
All right. How would you describe your Playstyle edition?
I think I'm more 1st edition, but I've taken different 2nd edition elements and added. I like the non-weapon proficiencies to add the flavor from 2nd edition.
That's actually 1st, though, isn't it?
No, well, there's elements that started with like the Dungeoneer's survival guide and that, but then I thought 2nd edition had a lot more of it.
It does. You're correct.
Yeah, I mean the barbarians it was kind of like a taste of it, and then it became what was in the edition.
So, all right. So, Michael, where am I going to send this to you? Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna put it right in there. No, I'm gonna do it in Discord. Michael's gonna hop on. There we go.
Awesome. That's great.
We're gonna have Michael hop on. Why not?
That's fantastic.
Make it New Jersey bound. Michael lives in Audubon, Jeff.
All right.
Running.
All right, the old neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're from Heights. Oh my God.
That's
you
right.
Tim are both from Heights.
That's
Holy
right.
There you go. All right.
Indeed.
It's in chat. There it goes. It's in your Discord, Mike.
Nestled between the Black and White Horse Pikes.
Right. Yes. Those were the days. Dude, going down to the park, running cross country down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Look away there, Amanda. It's all good. Thank you. Yeah. So, all right. Here's my question for the 3 of you. What elements of an edition beyond 1st or 2nd have you put into your game? If any. There he is.
Hello.
Games is
here. I am.
Coordinator there, Michael Z.
Greetings from the wasteland.
Yeah. I never gave you the winner. I never gave you the winners for. Oh my God, I forgot. I didn't give you the winners for Saturday, did I? All right, I got to do that later. Man.
No problem. Yeah, I've got work to do tonight, so I can handle that tonight. No problem.
That sounds good. Is that a Flyer shirt on?
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool, man. Even though they got blown out last night.
Yeah. No, so they're playing with house money now. It's all good. It's all gravy.
Very true. So, Michael, all right, we'll go back. Introduce yourself and tell everyone what your editions you play and what play style.
Sure. Editions started with BX as a dungeon master. I actually played OD&D but didn't know it because my classmate was not allowed to bring her dad's books to school. So she had a notebook where she had copied it down the summer before third grade, copied it all down in a 3-subject notebook, the little brown books, and brought that to school. So I never knew we were playing OD&D until the internet, when I figured out that what I thought was her house rule was the actual elven rule, because the one kid playing the elf would pick before every session if he was a magic user or a fighter. I just thought that was her house rule, but that was OD&D.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I had no idea because I never saw her books. And then she brought in the catalog around December or January of 81 and pointed out the BX box that was coming out, saying, my dad says to get this because it's replacing what was now known as the Holmes Basic. It's the new Basic box coming out. So that's what I DM'd. My parents were going up to the Poconos on a ski trip. They wanted me and my brother to be occupied while at our grandmother's. So my dad bought me the BX box, and then we moved a year and a half later.
So that was
and
Molde.
That was Moldvay box. Yep.
Molde,
Then we moved from that. We were in towns will be familiar to everyone, but Anna, Haddon Township, over to Collingswood.
Oh yeah.
So we moved to Collingswood. Everybody in Collingswood was playing AD&D, and my brother and I discussed, like, do we try to win them over to us? Or he's like, no, dude, you split race and class. It's cool. So we switched over to AD&D in late 82, and then Christmas of 82, he got the player's handbook for Christmas, and I got the Dungeon Master's Guide, and that's when we switched. So we played that till I graduated high school in 90, and then I was away from the game for 10 years, came back to 3rd edition because our younger sister, who's almost 12 years younger than me, wanted to play, and she was too young the first stint. So we learned 3rd edition. And then eventually
So you did play
unearthed.
Okay.
Yeah. So we played 3rd, 3.5, and then I was getting DM burnout, so we switched to Castles and Crusades.
Okay.
And played that until my first wife died in 07. And then got back into it just solo with my oldest, really, in 09. And then eventually we had unearthed all the books at our parents', and my brother said, I'm not really into it anymore. So he gave me all the first edition books that we had that I didn't find the first time. And then we switched over to 1st edition. I did try Swords of Wizardry for a bit because when I came on board at Fraga, that was the house game.
Yep.
And then after Matt Finch left and wanted to publish that on his own, we switched over to OSE because that's what Fraga was supporting. And then we played a game with Jay at his house, and my sons were like, we want to play AD&D. And I was like, that's awesome, because that's basically in my brain, all those other systems I convert in my head to AD&D because that's the language I learned, if you will. So that's what we play now. We play AD&D. So 1st edition, somewhat Unearthed Arcana stuff, some GREYHAWK adventure stuff in there.
Yeah.
But that's basically what we do now. We don't play it nearly as often as I would like, as I'm sure is, common to everybody who's an adult. But it's a blast.
Adult, so
So the one thing I can't see, and I just realized I need to go over to the other browser to see chat, correct?
And then you can pop it out if you want. Yeah, there's a little cog-wheel, and you can pop out chat and have it. Yeah. Then you can kill off the video, and that will save you a lot of bandwidth.
When did you bump into Alan Grohe for the first time? Because Alan lived in Merchantville.
Yeah, it's hilarious. The first house I ever saw Dungeon Master's Guide in is a block from his parents' old house.
Yeah.
So Alan was 1 block inside Merchantville. My aunt and uncle were 1 block inside Pennsauken.
Tom's from Pennsauken.
Yeah, I need to ask him if he knows my cousin, because my cousin still lives in that same house.
Tom went to Camden Catholic, so I'm not sure.
Dude, that's where I went.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just a little older than I am.
Just a little bit. He's a year older than me. So, all right. So, the question was, what have you pulled from? Since we're all old schoolers for the most part, except for Anna. Anna's got her new set.
Well, I've been old schooler, so to speak. I've been every school of D&D through my career.
Here's the question: what have you pulled from another edition that you like a lot? Okay. So we're just in a positive way. We're not gonna fight about old editions. I call it wars just as a joke, but I'm gonna show you mine, all right, and then you guys can go from there.
And then we'll show you ours.
I'll show you mine
Yes.
if you show me yours.
Realize
this is old school.
Shows have cameras.
After dark.
Well, if you guys heard Ed last night, oh my god.
Yes.
And that stream last night. Yeah. So
or you should have heard him before we started.
So
oh my stars and stripes.
I think the weapon proficiency system in 1E is boring, right? It's because you got to pick specific weapons. I still like it that way, but I wanted more variety. So I added more proficiencies and into that and made a feats from 3rd edition, limited ones, and I pulled them in. Here's the initial class proficiency updates. There's more. They get them faster. Some classes get more. Like monk get 2 at first instead of 1. I think 1's stupid, right? But like now fighter 1 every other level they're getting a proficiency. All right. And here's all the classes and subclasses. You can see barbarians 1 every 2. Knights are 1 every 2. Cavaliers that cavalier from Dragon 72 still gets 1 every level. And then we have all these different ones you can take. Now specialization's always been their weapon specialization from Runner's Arcana. But that we just it's a special proficiency, right? So it just fits right in. So that's what we did. Now we always will add to this list. Thanks, Michael. Thank you. Valmoku. We will always add to this list if I get something that's a recommendation from a player. It doesn't break the game. The number one thing I'm worried about is this stuff going crazy, right? So one that someone recommended to me was specialty evocations or whatever, add +1 per die damage. Like, hell no. Hell no, because we have elementalists, right? I don't need that because I have elementalists, right?
Yeah.
So, but like there's stuff here. Remember when we were fighting the Dark Creepers on Saturday morning? And someone in the chat said, does anyone have blind fighting? There it is. We have blind fighting, which I have modified. -2 to hit in darkness, visible at 8th level. No penalty at all. You're like Rutger Hauer in that movie Blind Fury. No penalty. There you go. So that's kind of that's what I've done. So that's a 3rd edition rule. Smash into 1E, 2E. All right. What else has someone got? Now Tim's done a lot of stuff. Tim, you got so many custom class. You got way more custom classes than I do. I think.
I like the combat proficiencies add-on, so I took that. I added a couple. And then then I went crazy and looking at stuff for non-combat proficiencies, or sometimes called, I don't know what else you'd call it, just not combat proficiency. So anything deals with magic users are like they're separate. They're not necessarily unless it deals with combat. Other things I've taken.
Good. I'm going to say that's about your house rule. You got a big house rule. It's different than ever.
Yeah, I changed up a little bit about, it depends on how crunchy I want to be with initiative and how it's modified by what you're wearing and how much weight you're carrying. Having had to do stuff in the military with different levels of weight on, I can tell you it makes a big difference. But then again, I also then took my terrible, horrible criticals, and based on the armor, it reduces the intensity of the crit, So if you're wearing a great helm, you're probably not going to get decapitated.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's a recent change.
Yeah, that's within the last year.
Okay, that's recent. That's a recent change, man.
That's pretty recent. Yeah, it is. Because armor works and you wear it. So, okay, it may just be like, all right, it's reduced so many levels and is now a blunt injury instead of a cutting injury, because you can get, a mace still hurts you if you're in chainmail.
So, the one that Tim's got a lot of good concepts there, Amanda. He's very, he has a lot more. His crunch goes even deeper than mine. All right. So the big thing that he does is he rolls to hit rolls or spells.
Yes, that's right. Failing and critically your casting. Yes.
Yes, and I am not going there. Yes, so he can.
I love it when they mess up because it's like, ooh, I made this big table.
Yeah. So Joe Block attached non-weapons as an experience cost. You know why I don't like that? costing experience points off your character, it just feels not natural. I don't know. I'd rather it be in the course of gameplay training. I think the way Tim has it works pretty well. Page 121 on Patreon and YouTube and old school about tables for non-web. Yeah, true.
I don't remember where I grabbed it from, but I also had
Is it Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay use that?
Well, for what do you mean for the crits?
For spells. I thought Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay had to roll.
Yes, there's a mechanism where you can mess up.
Yeah.
When you cast a spell, it's basically if you roll doubles on your die, because you roll 10-sided die, but if you roll like 2 5s, it's like, uh-oh. Chaos has intervened. Something's happened.
So, Amanda, definitely experiment. Have him experiment. Every adventure's a constant play test. So just let him experiment with it. That's it. If you don't like it, you just remove it after a couple sessions. Yeah, Tim, I really love. I really love. Our games are not identical. They're not. No. They're not. There's a lot of differences. Yeah.
I knew someone that used something similar to hull points. They you had hull points for like ships and whatnot. They actually had like hull points for armor. One of the campaigns I played in when we were kids. They had like armor points where your armor would break down.
His crits are so nasty because he uses that one that Doctor created.
There were some medical doctors that created some crits for Warhammer.
Yeah,
and they're horrible.
Ending.
They're like, oh, you've been punctured in the lower abdomen. You feel the horror as you see urine pouring out of your wound now that your bladder's been punctured.
Yes.
Hey, good luck with that, Renaissance medicine man.
So worse than MERP, because I played MERP a few times.
They're along the same vein.
Several veins.
No,
yes,
and arteries as well.
Severed veins.
It's not like 3 pages. It's a whole freaking book, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah,
go ahead,
I kind of put down a few notes on what I've taken from the various editions, so to speak. When it comes to the old school, meaning first edition D&D and Red Box and stuff, there's 2 things I think I took from that. First of all, grittiness. A game should be dangerous and it also be difficult at times, meaning there should be no obvious success. Failure should be an option, so to speak, and dramatic failure and grittiness. Your character can die and should die from time to time in order to keep the game fun. Those are the 2 fundamentals that I took with me from old school, even into Hawk Tales, and that I baked into that part too. From 3rd edition, 2nd edition, I kind of bake into first edition in that, because rules wise they're more similar than the other later editions and in their fundamentals. 3rd edition, there's a couple of new inventions that I really like in 3rd edition. First of all is the rules mechanics without absolutism, meaning the save and die stuff, meaning and stuff. That's part of the fun, and also like saving throws. You have like a roll 11 or higher and you succeed, or 15 or higher and 7 and higher. So that thing that you had difficulty classes. So when you met that 11 and higher, that was okay. But when you met that super duper great worm or the demon lord, then all of a sudden you have to roll a 16 in order to succeed. That things weren't fixed, so to speak. That the difficulty classes of things that made the mechanics a lot more interesting, in my opinion. That were more. It was a gliding scale. And I embraced it so wholeheartedly up until the Pathfinder era, and then I realized that it could be too much good of the, but we get to that part, so to speak. So that and coherent mechanics, you use all the abilities for cool stuff. You tie skills and stuff to abilities and stuff. That's for me was when D&D came of age, so to speak, in 3rd edition. And 2 other things for 3rd edition: monster types. Like dragon has certain mechanical cool stuff for it, mechanical, thematical, and so do demons, undead, and various stuff that comes with it. That makes creating monsters and run them and stuff more cool, and there's more cool tools and things that happen, so to speak, make combat and encounters more interesting. There's more bells and whistles than in old school mechanically, so to speak. 4E didn't bring much, but it for me brought at least 3 cool things. Cantrips for low-level casters, so casters can't run out of spells, meaning powerful cantrips that were powerful enough to be fun. So casters always had something cool to do. And minions, that was an eye-opener to me. You could run hundreds of monsters and you can run it quickly using minions. That opens up a new idea that I really loved. And also, they took a more interesting look at the multiverse. And instead of looking at it as an engineer, they started looking at it like a storyteller. And so I kept some of the engineering from earlier edition Monster Manual and then introduced a little bit of the like Shadow Dark and the Feywild and stuff like that. That was a cool thing they did in 4E. And then 5E came around, the new era. And that was then, meaning 3rd edition Pathfinder took everything went into the extreme. Armor class went into the 60s. You could have a plus 80 on a roll theoretically and stuff like that. So the things inflated. So what was cool in the beginning, after 20 years, it felt like, oh, this is going crazy. And the numbers were too big and stuff. So what they did was they restrained the math and put it in a box and say, this is how much the math can work. That was restrained and balanced math. That was both Pathfinder 2 and 5e did that really, really well. And so these are the things that I've picked up through the years of the various editions, so to speak, that have kind of made me think about how I play and how I want to play.
Real quick, Tiffany's on. Everyone give her a hand because she did such a great job last night.
Yes.
If you didn't watch, it was awesome. Awesome
and
game.
a really cool rule set that was on 2 pages.
It works
2
very well.
pages. Yeah,
absolutely.
It was really, really good. Yep.
Let me see here. Brett and Curtis said that they really had a great time too. They sent me a text about it, so just letting you know on that. Ed said he had a blast, so yeah, we'll definitely have Tiffany back for other stuff coming up.
We need to run every of her rule set from the D4 to the whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
One session each, like every couple of months or something, would be awesome.
Oh, cool, man. What do you want to do? 25?
Yeah, that works.
All right. So in addition to the Classic D&D Blueprint giveaway, and especially if you're overseas in Canada, you'll get the Frog God gift certificate. That's awesome. Cool.
And if they want, instead of ours, I can do like 25-ish in drive-through if they prefer that.
No, we're gonna do Frog God, man. Dude,
that works.
Kicks ass, man.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, it's our. I meant our stuff from Frog God.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yep.
Yeah. If they prefer. Yeah.
So my character did a cartwheel during the game last night.
Did you demonstrate it?
A cat wheel, I swear wrong. Yes, and I broke both of my hips again. Yeah, screw you, man. Yeah.
Good that you switched them out.
You can't do cartwheels anymore, Jay? Dang.
No. There's a lot I can't do anymore. Yeah.
Any longer? I can't remember when I could do them. Yeah. Maybe when I was like 10 or so. Yeah. 15.
All right, so the rest of the panel, what have you guys incorporated in? I know Tim's done so. Jeff, anything you've thought of?
I've generally kept it pretty pure, but I would say for 1st edition games, I do like the, what do they call it? The Font of Magic, where you can exchange up spells. So like 2 first level spell slots can be traded in for a level 2. So it treats mana and magical capability like ammunition. I like the flexibility of that because, if you really go hardcore old school, it's like, no, you have to have chosen what you've memorized and hope you chose well. So I like giving the players a little bit of agency on that side of it. I also like doing a little bit more focused subclass, like 1 or 2 of the modules that I published.
Yeah.
I retroed from 5e to 1e, and I turned those, I brought custom classes over, the Cernrata and the Cernvata, Druid and Rangers from the 10. and gave them basically a path to, okay, as you grow, you get some certain class abilities that are specialized and
flavor.
Yeah, it gives a little bit more agency and a little more background than to say, why would I pick, why can't I just be a vanilla ranger? Well, we've got some special perks for you because it's tied into the background and the story, and it fits the immersion better.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Go ahead, Michael. I know you got a bolt soon. Michael's got to go shortly. So let Michael
okay.
talk real quick, and then we'll.
Yeah. So, as far as using other edition stuff, I actually really like the 3rd edition languages, because it really just put them all together in different categories, so it made it easier. So I guess it's kind of a cheat.
Interesting. All right.
But I did like the way they did languages.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I'll probably think of like 7 when I leave.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. We can talk about that. That one's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think one aspect that I think is important is that for some gamers, the rule set is really, really important. In some game groups, the rules are the main reason you play it. It's a game, and we want to roll dice, we want to add things, we want to earn XPs, and we want to. And for other groups, the rules is more like it's a necessary evil, or it's just a scaffolding, but it's not that important. The important thing is that we kill dragons, and we sit and talk to each other, and we improvise, and we kind of had fun. And the rules is kind of in the background, so to speak. It's one of the necessary things we have, like dice, whatever, but it's not key. And I think that's another aspect. Some rule sets are really good for people who love rules and to want to have it crunchy and cool, and love to have a character that needs a Excel spreadsheet to manage, because it's cool to manage a lot of stuff, and it's part of the fun, so to speak. Like people who play war games and other stuff, as well as role-playing games, and they really want depth and crunch and detail, and other people just want to, like, oh, I want the characters to be as simple as possible, and that's it. So and that is, and rule sets fall in that continuum, so to speak, from one to the other. And I think that's an important aspect, because some rule sets for some people will be automatically disqualified or great, depending on where you are on the scale.
Oh, that's interesting. Radical adding elf languages in. All right, Tim, what were you gonna say there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to get Michael in before you depart.
3rd edition had the sorcerer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of like, and there's that old argument against spell points, or how many spells you can cast per day, and you can pick whatever it is. And I didn't kind of like that, and I never really loved the Vankian way, so I made up my own, which is basically the regular way we do it. Is kind of basically the person, the magic user or the cleric, whatever, is doing everything ritually, slowly, and using their using their components and doing everything to generate carefully through ritual the energies for the spell, and then they kind of do a ritual of holding. So now they've loaded themselves up. They've already generated the energy, and then it's ready to go. So in combat, it's boom, 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 it goes. But I also wanted to make a way where they could access stuff they know, but they're going to take risks. Because now they did it slowly before for safety. Now they're going to try to do it fast on the fly. So I made rules where you can cast any spell you know. It's just that you're going to roll percentile, and if you fail, we're going to the tables.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
So, I
don't want to do the Irish goodbye, but I'm going to scoot. I'll listen to you on the road. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah. Bye.
So, but you get bonuses. Like if I can cast a 4th level spell, every level away from my maximum 4th level spell I get plus 5% in doing it. So, I mean, it gives them, people with magic, the ability to do stuff. They know it. It's just that you're taking risks when you when you haven't prepped it.
Yep.
And and it takes longer. It takes probably about 2 rounds to cast the spell, because now you're trying to do everything on the fly, trying to do the whole ritual of casting. So,
Savage, I kind of don't understand your question. You're talking about Tiffany's game. Got it. There you go. So each class has their own target, had their the targets were on the creature, not on us. We had our own target number to be hit, and they had target numbers to be hit. So that was it. That was it. Yeah, and we had our own pool of dice.
Yeah, that was depending on the class. We had a target number, how difficult we were to hit, so to speak, and we also then had a dice pool, meaning how many stuff we could do before we ran out of juice, so to speak.
Right.
So you only had a limited offensive capability. You can only do cool stuff.
I was out always early because I was always doing mine. I was always trying to do mine stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm screwed.
But it was interesting because each class had its one or two cool things that they could do. Meaning, my character was a scout, so I could skulk around and sneak around and without limits, so to speak. But everything else that uses up the ability, and that's an interesting mechanics, and I think it works really well in a horror game where you kind of, when you've done your stuff, then you're screwed, so to speak. It might be high fantasy, it might be tougher, so to speak, too. But on the other hand, spell points and spell slots have worked for a long time in D&D.
Tim would have been proud of Tiffany. We came into one cavern, and there was a hole in the middle, and there's 10 of the guards from the keep they're all of them in a circle are all impaled. Up the keister.
Oh yeah, that was yes, that was very much you, Tim. That was
Yeah, look at Tim. Yeah, he's like
Tiffany is tough. Yep.
Why up the keister? That's not nice.
Well, where else are they going to be impaled if they're standing straight up?
Oh, through the gut.
Okay, well maybe they were. I don't know.
Through the pelvic girdle. Just through the abdomen, all the way straight up, out the side near the collarbone.
Fond memories. All right, so I'm going to throw out a couple things, and we're going to discuss.
I got to step away for real quick, but I'll be right back.
Go for it, man.
Yep.
All right. You smile at the fond memories because they were definitely fond memories. It was awesome. Okay, so I'll say this about I play tested a game in 5th edition at GaryCon. Jeremy Astrolier ran it. It was in Heroes of GREYHAWK, so I had a character, a Banneret, which I'm play testing for the Melf book, and I liked it, but it wasn't for me. Right? I will play it if I get invited to play in a game. I'll play in a 5th edition game, but it's just it feels different. It just feels different, but
yeah, I'm not sure that I would like to play in my own games. I'm not really sure about that part because I might be very different in many. I had so much fun yesterday, but that's not the way I would to run things. But I love to play in it. So my needs as a player versus my needs as a game master are very different.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff, on that?
As far as needs
as a player instead of needs as a DM.
Ooh. As a player, I think I'm really much more into trying to get into the RP side of it. Whereas as a DM, you kind of dip your toes in different pools. Sometimes you need to jump into a certain character. Other times you're trying to balance the flow of the story and the tension. So they're very different. I would say that as a player, I'm a lot more focused in what I'm trying to get out of it, as opposed to a DM where I'm making sure everybody's having a good time at the table and mixing it up for everybody, or making sure, well, this person needs to shine and this person's up next, that kind of stuff. So, but I'd probably say as a player, I'm more engaged in the RP side of it.
Cool.
I'm laughing at Phantom NJ.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is I'm a sadist, not a masochist. Yes, maybe. That was quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, here's question number 1. Class level limits.
Wait a minute, I heard the question that you guys all talked about as I walked away.
Oh, go for it.
I think I would like to play in a game like I run also.
I know you would.
So I guess it's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
And Jeff got to experience that firsthand, climbing backwards up the wall with
and saving the party from utter devastation by not stone shaping the terrace. And going, wait a minute, my spider sense is tingling. Don't do that. That and talking to chipmunks. I definitely want a rematch with Durf the chipmunk. So.
But it was all good fun, man. We had a blast that night. So yeah. So coming up, putting it out there, coming up in 4 Thursdays. Show Me the Dice and her husband Jared will be in the house on Thursday night, the night before Concoction starts.
Oh wow.
So yes, and you guys are both Concoction DMs. So if you can get here Thursday, I'll be running a game for whoever can show Thursday in the house, just like I did for Paige. Well, except we just hung out. We're gonna play a game. Yeah. So just throwing it out there. I'm playing all kinds of games except heavy railroad campaigns. Cool. I'm glad you're here, Rob. So for me, it's hard to not to throw a little railroading in on a stream. You know that, man. Railroad.
Yeah. If you're set on time,
yeah,
there's a little bit. Everyone either has to be super cooperative or you've got to make it go.
Guardrails. Yeah.
Yeah. Meaning that there you have. Yeah, Jay, you have two constraints that are kind of difficult for you to go around. One is that you play games on within a certain time limit, so to speak, but that when you run them stream, they need to happen roughly within these number of hours. And also a lot of the scenes, not all of them, but a lot of them needs to play out on your game table. That right. Makes them really cool and it enhances the game, but it also puts like a frame around it, like things need to happen at least reasonably within these constraints, so to speak. And we all have constraints. It's just that if you have a game table, they become more visible and more visualized than they would be in another sense, so to speak.
Jay's going to upgrade his game table so it's like a small world after all in Disneyland, where the table just rotates.
Exactly. You need to have like a whole basement.
He needs an overhead camera crane so you can get satellite imagery of the table.
Oh, well,
he won't do it, but that's what he needs.
I have the new lighting above, so
well, you need to have that rail-mounted camera up there,
like
so
they did flight sims in the 1920s and 30s. They had a camera that was actually on like that flew over a model landscape that was maneuvered by.
There's Bella. Marquis and Bella, good to see you both.
I did do that once with a pad or a phone, I think, on one of the streams where I zoomed in from my phone and then added an extra window.
Yeah, you did. That was a City State game, which was great. But that above camera angle is not great. It's just the depth you lose. That's okay. The angle in it had to be above and.
Soon you have to have like people pay you extra and they get a camera they can control.
You need a camera crew, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. You need a camera crew. Yeah.
Any overhead is bad. Anywhere overhead is bad. I do the best I can with. So, but I have. I think I've gotten the stream fixed. I don't know. See how dumb I am. The cords I have on all these computers I haven't replaced any of them except for the one downstairs. So I replaced all the cords everywhere, even the small ones were Cat 6s. I think, and up like 100 megabits on the download rate just by adding Cat 6s everywhere. So yeah,
you had a bottleneck somewhere. Well, somewhere you had 10 megabits somewhere.
Just
sitting in old cable from the 1980s.
Yeah,
sitting there
old ones. If it's Northern Germany, visit the Minotaur Wonderland Hamburg. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, that is an awesome. I've been there twice.
Oh, have you,
it's so cool. Oh yes, Hamburg. That was so cool. I had a brother and several friends who were complete crazy about model trains. So I've been dragged there twice, and it wasn't that hard to drive. It's a fantastic place. It's an old industrial building, and it's full. It's the biggest model train set in the world. It's by a long shot. I think it's enormous. It fills like a huge warehouse on several floors, and it's super cool. They have different parts of the world, and they run like train sets from all over Europe, Japan, North America, whatever. Yeah, it's super cool. They even have an airport with planes that fly in from a hole in the wall and land and then go out the other way and stuff. You can go on the YouTube. There are lots of I think they even have their own YouTube channel. So it's super cool. Yeah, it's worth going in, and it takes about 6 hours to go through it all and see it. And you have to see that, I think every 20 minutes they change between day and night. So you have to see every part of it during daytime and nighttime. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
So some questions. Some of the old school stuff that like I kind of just ignore, and sometimes some of the purists yell at me. Can we bring back the core rulebook cover?
I know what you're going to say.
Well, if class level limits is number one. What do you mean by that, Tiff? A core rulebook cover?
I was going to say armor class modification on.
Oh,
weapons.
I don't use that stuff, man. So right. Steven Chenault and David Chenault had this thing about, can you run D&D First Edition in its original form with using all the rules? And I said yes, but you're going to poke your freaking eyes out, right? It's so chunky.
It increases player responsibility.
See, yeah. I do like the weapon versus armor class of 1E. I thought that was important because if you've got a guy wearing plate armor and you're going after him with a dagger, you're going to have to jimmy that knife in somewhere. It's going to be a little harder to actually do damage. Is it tedious? Yeah, for people who want, I want 50,000 spreadsheets for gameplay, but it's that trade-off of how realistic are you going for versus how much do you want to slow down gameplay.
Yep.
I get it, but it's kind of like, yeah, but that's kind of cool. And the other end of the spectrum, if you're unarmored, you're going to get some bonuses like, yeah, you're going to get nicked. You're going to get hurt, especially at the lower levels where it matters.
Well, some weapons are easier to hit armor than they are unarmored.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, the can openers.
Some are like...
But like, so once again, and I appreciate all that, but I don't have.
Well, we had to have Tim and I had to argue about something.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a history, we have a reputation to protect.
Right, I agree 100%. But that is one that I just like. Oh my god, I gotta look this up.
It's like the value added isn't worth the squeeze. I feel.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that, but I do like it.
But I think, Jeff, that ties into a really good example. For some people, these are really cool parts of the game that adds cool flavor, adds to the simulation, the depth of it. For other people, this is complicated math. I don't want any of this crap. And yeah.
You think about the rogue, first edition rogue, okay? You're hiding in shadows, you're not seen, you've got your daggers, and you're going against an unarmed target. You're already mentally lining up all the bonuses because when you roll, you want that hit. That dopamine hit of, I got my bonuses, I got, and it's satisfying. Again, to Tim's point, yeah, but that's a little extra overhead, and is that going to get in the way? And it's like, for some players, they're looking forward to it.
The table is by armor class, but not armor, all armor is the same. And what if it's magic? Does that mean it changes? Or is it just based on the type of armor? I would rather see it comprised of like plate, partial plate, chain, and hide, and then you only have 4 modifiers or 5 modifiers.
Because to be fair, like burning hands against no armor, padded armor, where you're going to light up like versus being in chainmail or plate mail.
I would say you're actually better off in padded armor
because of the insulation.
Metal.
Right, because it'll heat up. So that's one area that was never touched.
So.
But we can touch it. We can make that extra rule.
Just remember to quote Warhammer: "Magic is heresy."
Yeah, exactly. So
must be purged.
Class level limits, because I'm going back and forth. I removed that years ago.
I never liked that.
And the reason I did, even more solidified, was when I saw what they put in Unearthed Arcana. Now, this is an actual joke, and I'm going to bring it up here. This is like, it became a stat race just to get a more powerful, higher level character, and I thought that was the direction you really didn't want to go. So let me show you what I'm talking about.
Oh, I think they did it to try to limit the amount of demi-humans.
Yeah, that's exactly what I remember reading.
Because humans are better.
That Gygax didn't want everybody basically being a non-human, and to give that, well, humans are cool, to give them that uncapped leveling.
Humans are better.
I want you just to look at this. Look at these tables. Look at this thing here to become, what is this, fighter? What class is this? Gnomes. Oh, it's based on class. So elves. This is mage. Why in the hell? And you see all these numbers here. Ranger. Here's one. 14. You can become a 14th level ranger as an elf if you have a 20 strength.
What?
Yeah. Look at it right here. This is under Arcana. 20 strength, 19 wisdom, or 19 intelligence also required. Now, if I'm allowing those stats in 1E2, it's already balanced off. So I'm like, I don't want this.
20 strength. 20 strength. So your frost giant strength for an elf.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's insane.
Does the elf have creatine supplementation?
Yeah, exactly.
He's,
what were you
he's
saying?
dosing heavy.
I was gonna
Don't
say
skip leg day.
You emphasize game balance in a way that people who created first edition AD&D didn't.
Right,
And also it's interesting because the class structure and the rules don't take balance in. That comes on the XP table. Since you vary the XP table.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Barbarians, as Rob knows, take forever
exactly.
to go
So you have like So you that is the way you rein in balance comes like an afterthought. If you take third edition, for instance, where you balance everything each character class and race can do is balanced against each other at the get-go, and then you. So it's from the ground up trying to build, and then 5e takes that to extreme limits, or 4e especially, because every class, whether they are a fighter or a wizard, mechanically functions exactly the same way. You just like, you do this magic cool thing at whatever type of power and a fighter do. So you mechanically have it super balanced, and that was probably a lot of people who didn't like it, especially if you loved old school where wizards mechanically functions completely different from fighters. And in 4e, they all mechanically function the same way because they should all have equal chances during the session. And I wouldn't say one is right and one is wrong. It's simply, it's the kind of play style. And now we're touching into how you like it, so to speak. Yeah.
So, Tim, what's one of the best things about humans in class?
They're all, they can do anything. They can be unlimited.
Do anything, but also what can they do?
Double class?
Dual classing. Super powerful. In fact, the Tim Abuse dual classing was the best. He would. Go ahead. Tell everyone.
I didn't violate any rules.
You didn't. Go ahead. What'd you do?
So, let's say you want to have a thief that has a lot of cool weapons, and you want him really strong, exceptional strength.
You only need 15 to start.
Right.
In the initial class, the one you go to is going to be higher.
You make a fighter with 18-something strength, right, and real high dexterity, and then after 1 or 2 levels, you switch to thief.
Especially,
and now you're a thief with 18-something strength, and you have 4 weapon proficiencies.
So much.
What's the stat required to climb backwards?
Winning.
Yeah, you need
Jay just tried to ruin all the fun. As usual.
It's my fault. It's always my fault.
You get so hung up on balance. Come on, how good is the thief going to be? Well, he's just something unique.
Let's take a look at Tim the Enchanter.
It's funny how you had that handy.
He made that.
Tim the Enchanter, Fighter 1, Magic User 5.
With 8, what's his strength? 18.
18/46.
Hey, it makes perfect sense. He was training. He apprenticed. He trained. He was this fighter. He went out and he realized, this is terrible. I hate it. I'd rather use my brain. Switch careers.
Now, his fighter table never goes beyond first.
Right.
So,
but he's always buff.
So,
his mage vest has the sleeves cut off so you can see those guns.
Nothing up my sleeves here, but a gun right here.
What happened in my campaign was, for my guys, I made it that you had to go up to 7th before you switched.
Totally unreasonable. I think 4th is reasonable.
Well, actually now, I'm going to give you another character just played yesterday. I have 4 of the special, because I always treat the special guest people way better than you guys, because they all they all cry.
It's true.
They're freaking crying all the time. Here's Aaron Coldwell. This is Brett's character. Now this is without the update stuff. Dual class fighter 5th, fighter 5, specialty priest 7. There you go. Now he just turned 8th, specialty priest of Ilmater. Yeah, so he's 5th level. And look, 17 strength, but he's got double specialization. So he's 3 every 2.
Yeah, who are you to argue with his deity's calling, Jay? You can call him at any level.
I understand that. But in gameplay, I'm trying to make it so that if they have at least 5th, the table's not bad. Here's the best one of all. Now, because I started them earlier, here's Maram, the worst monk ever, right? This is Korg's character.
He's not even a human, is he?
He's 25% orcish. So he classifies as human. Yes.
I'll accept it.
Yeah, exactly. Fighter
He's just an ugly human.
Yes. Fighter 3rd. He's monk 8th now. There you go. But he's
yeah, I don't like mixing with monk.
Why not? Yeah.
Because monks are very restricted.
Doesn't say anywhere.
It's not like you went to monk school for a year and then you came out a monk.
Here's his story. He was a guard under Juan Carlos in Altamira all these years, and he wanted something better for his life. And so that is what happened. So he decided he was kind of buff.
Well, but, how many years did it take to train?
It's immaterial. We'll say 5.
What's his strength? 17?
Okay.
17. Yeah, he's got 18 dex and 16
So when he's doing open hand combat, he's just basically turning people into fruit salad.
Well, no, you don't get the strength bonus.
No, you don't. But so his open hand is.
I'm thinking about changing that though.
2 to 12. But he has a +1 hit because he has special gauntlets.
No, it's a good story though.
Yeah, and he developed the backstory. So there you go. So that is a dual class.
So somehow I'm the bad guy with the whole dual class human.
First level.
Jay,
it's funny. Come on.
Well, what about the backstory I just told you? No, his backstory is great. Mine's no good. All right.
No, yours is good, but every single one was first level.
What do you mean every single one?
And we had like 6 characters that were first level.
I only had one.
Okay.
Richard Blackstone.
I remember a lot more.
I actually made one in somebody was running a one-off game when I was in the army, and I had a guy like that, which he thought was really amusing.
So there you go, Dale. Dual classing is a huge advantage, especially with the specialization rules. Yeah, So Maram still fights with his bastard sword a lot, especially against giants and large characters, because he's getting 2 to 16 two-handed. And he hits a specialization, but he's on the 3rd level table. So,
so he's more overpowered than my guy. The guy I made.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that it's just you guys, you got it. I know you just busted balls right now. It's fine, man. I get them busted all the time, man.
Tim? No.
And then, look, I just closed out all the other books.
You think
with
Jay's a
1846
druid with
strength,
his true neutral balance nonsense?
What's that?
You think you're a druid with this true neutral balance nonsense that goes on with your calculation somehow?
But
was he doing alignment checking?
No, he's always balancing. Well, this is too overpowered, or this is not. Whatever. I got to balance it. So.
I allow druids now and Avengers to be neutral good or neutral evil.
No. I'm saying you, Jay. You're always in the balance. Got to balance the things.
No, what I'm always is what. And I've talked about this a lot of time on stream. What would Alan or Tim do to break these rules?
But that's another important aspect.
It is.
But then why not? Why shouldn't they be broken occasionally?
Yeah.
It is a fantasy world, right?
Yeah, and it's the relationship you have with the rule set. For some people, it's like a holy scriptures needs to be revered, analyzed, used, bash. You use it to bash the others over the whatever and stuff like that, because that's part of the fun. And for other people, for other people, it's like, oh, it's something we just use as a kind of a guideline for how we kind of run our stuff around the table, and it's not more important than that. And one of the things that a rule that I think mechanics that can tie into playstyle really well is something that hasn't been used in AD&D and D&D old editions, we either use yards or feet for range measurement, but several rule systems are more suited for theater of mind play. So they use like close, near, far, and very far. So close is the one you can touch and grab and grapple with and stuff like that, and use a dagger. And close are the ones that you can use like a 5 foot. They are 5 feet away, or 5 or 10. So you can use a spear or a sword or a weapon like that. And far, that they're the ones you can throw a thrown weapon, and very far are the things you can shoot a bow at, or a crossbow, or missile weapon, and everything beyond then is like within visible range or extreme range or whatever you call it. So there's like some of them have 3, some of them have 4, some of them have 5 bands, and those are distances that are really good for a theater of the mind game, because you don't have to boggle it down with precise distances. And the spell range are the same way. You have spells, touch spells, and then you have spells that you can reach someone who is close, and then you have someone who's a bit further away, and so on. And these range. But on the other hand, if you have like Jay, you have an awesome table full of miniatures and cool stuff, then you just take out a ruler and you can use feats. Works much better than to squabble over if these miniatures are close. Or yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that is, I think, is a good example of, you should choose a rule set or a way of mechanics that suits your playstyle. If you use a lot of theater of the mind, having just the simplified range might be a much easier way of getting the play to speed up a lot better. And you can just use these terms, and after a couple of sessions, everybody around the table understand them. And whether they envision it this close or that doesn't matter, because mechanically it can flow a lot better.
So here's a question.
I can't think of any one thing that I have broken. What rules have I broken?
Broken? What are you talking about?
You
don't break the rules, Tim. You
rules?
use the rules. You use the rules.
You don't break them. That's
what rule have I used that's been like?
I'm going to give you an example of an item that it was abused. Damn arrow of direction.
It wasn't abused by me.
It wasn't. That was Alan. He had that stupid arrow of direction, and literally he'd ask a question, throw it up in the air like 8 to 10 times at every adventure. So much so that it was driving me freaking crazy. So one time he threw it up and it landed on a rock at a weird angle and snapped.
You're better off saying, okay, from now on it's got charges. You don't know how many charges, but I'll keep track of them.
But you can't go back on it. You already gave that to me. You can't change it. Look at Jeff laughing. He knows.
I've gotten rid of stuff.
Yeah, you get rid of stuff a different way. You go and get. So this is how Tim gets rid of stuff. So we're sitting there in a room, and a little package comes in. It's got a bow on it, right? It's a really nice little package inside. With a bow, right? And they're like, "Oh, this is for you," with a smiley face and a nice message and stuff on it.
Did it have a smiley face?
Yeah, of course it did. Oh, poof! Confetti goes everywhere, right? Also, a Morning Canaan's Disjunction spell goes off. Now, if you know what that does, that is a dispel magic. It's a 9th level spell with Morning Canaan. It immediately dispel. If the dispel magic is successful, it destroys the magic item.
Well, it separates the magic from the item.
Yeah. There you go.
But you're still left with a pretty nice item.
You're left with magical confetti.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
but
still...
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I also...
Yes. That's from Pager 2 years ago, Tiffany, Tim. Yeah,
what is?
Mysterious. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That is also...
Tiffany was there 2 years ago. She was there last year.
I also did a rope of entanglement when you were meeting with the crime boss.
Entanglement. Rope entanglement needs a saving throw.
Meeting with the crime boss, and he said,
"Yeah,
I'll take this from you." And he stole your belt.
Yeah. Yes, I lost. Yeah, that's okay. I can live with that.
She's definitely a badass. She doesn't need a belt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with that. Notice I haven't given out a girdle of giant strength. I've given out some gauntlets, but a girdle of giant strength in 30 years.
I had it was a game with it was a belt of ogre strength. Basically, it was +3 strength. So I like that sort of thing better, where it's like a buff, but it's not like
and then you
gotta be real careful with that giant
3.
one.
You go 1801, 1850, 1870. You'll go, oh, you have 17, now you have 20. No, you have 1851 or whatever. Yeah. So I knew this was going to happen. This is the fun part. I'm glad you guys are on here with us bickering a little bit. There are many items in first edition I will never give out again. Just won't. Helm of Brilliance.
Me too.
Helm of Brilliance.
Why? They're so fun.
To say instantly slaughter an undead, period.
They don't instantly slaughter undead. Only does 1 to 6 points of damage.
A round.
For those that are really close.
Within 60 feet.
Yeah, but the ones that are important are, those. Who cares about the young ones?
It has 8 gems with 8 prismatic sprays on it and 12 gems with 12 fireballs at like 10th level on it.
Yeah. Hey, but it's a finite item. You use them up, they're gone.
Yeah. And so Tiffany got a necklace of missiles, and she used her first one on Saturday on her character, and it was a 3-die-3 one. She was a 3-die-6. She didn't use her 7-die because I was like, you only got one of them. So there you go. But that's used stuff. All right. So
if you give out a Helm of Brilliance, you got to give out an old one with like 1 gem on each type.
Because it's got some benefits to it. I mean, that's what I would do. Also, Cloaks of Displacement, Robes of Eyes, I hate.
Cloak of Displacement is the one I won't do.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. Aurelia wants nothing to do with summoning demons. Of course, demons are nasty. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aurelia,
yes, I incorporated that. Now Roscoe has that.
Yeah. 6th level archer now from she has Aurelia. You know how nasty they are, Tim. All right. So here's a question. I'm with Tim on cloaks. Yeah. You got to be really careful with.
Well, that's because Jay's high level character has one.
Who has? Oh yeah, she does, doesn't she? Still.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
You gave it to me.
I know. It's my own
level.
fault.
Yeah.
Trust. I know.
13th level character.
She's 13th level though, so
So let's help out the characters. People who ask this question. How do you all do getting spells back while you're encamping? I do it that. First off, let me bring up Ravalantar, just so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about. If people don't know, this is Ed Greenwood's character. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bring Ravalantar up, and I'm going to explain what we got here. So now, a lot of the other players I don't enforce as much. By the way, I let Ed spell point his list. Ed Greenwood doesn't have to pre-choose spells for his mage. That's a super powerful thing. You all agree, correct?
It's more sorcerer type.
Right. Favoritism.
But I allow all of anyone playing a mage or mage subclass in my games that are not of the core group to do it that way. And it's just easier for them. It makes it more enjoyable for the audience and stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They don't have a sense of what they may need based on past experience with you in the game and what's likely. So,
speaking as an illusionist, I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes, illusionist is difficult. Shadow Mage is the same way. It's very difficult. So, Ed's character has a traveling spell book up here. These are spells he does not take his major spell book with him. He has spells technically pre-chosen. So whatever they are, and he casts them, it's off this list. But once they rest on a rare time, these are the spells that he can only get back, or in his traveling spell book, number 1. 2, it's because this is first edition. It's a 3rd level spell or higher, one of them, or 1 to 2 first and 2nd level spells. What do you do? All 3 of you, as far as gaining spells back? We're talking about full 8-hour encampment, long rest, whatever the hell you want to call it, in whatever edition. What do you think? What do you do, Tim?
Well, if they get actually full 8 hours rest.
Say they're in an encampment out in the middle of the wilderness.
If they get a full undisturbed 8 hours of rest, and how much time are they going to commit to not moving or doing anything? Because normally it's kind of like 8 hours, and then you kind of saddle up and go. Right. In this case, you're going to be delaying a significant portion of time if you try to recover something that takes longer.
How much you going to give them back on that 8 hours?
It would depend on how much they decide they're going to slow everything down.
Okay.
And then if they get they're in an encounter in the middle of it.
Well, yeah, I know, because that's what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do. You're going to throw in something going to attack you. What about you, Jeff?
Really, I haven't come across it too much, but I would generally give them back if they had a full night's rest, no overnight encounters and things like that, I'd probably give them everything up to like 3rd level back, and then maybe 1 additional spell.
Okay, so everything 3rd level up to 3rd, and then maybe 1 above 3rd. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I'd let them get higher if they had if they cast Rope Trick and it went into a totally peaceful place where they could totally focus. I would let them get a 4th or level or 5th level.
Okay.
If they have the time and if it lasts that long, and they're totally isolated, nothing can interfere. It's quiet. They can focus.
We're talking about with the 8 hours.
And I would
after 8 hours of rest.
After 8 hours, there you go.
Yep. And I would scale that up. Obviously, much higher level. You're talking 10th, 12th, 14th level magic user. You're going to be able to get a little bit more and just work it up. But again, it does need to be uninterrupted.
How about you, Anna?
Yeah, that was one of the things that I tried to really think about in Hawk Tales, because this is something that affects long-term campaign play really, and I wanted the game to be gritty. So first of all, there are numerous ways. There are 3 types of magic. Basically, it's arcane, divine, and primal, and they work a little bit different. Meaning, arcane, you get it from understanding the world and seat of your pants and how smart brained you are. Divine, there's an outside power that gives you the magic of some sort, and then primal, you attune to nature like druids and stuff, and that affects things too. So, but generally it's and then you also have some of you simply, I know if a spell or 2 innate, so to speak, meaning a drow might be able to cast darkness or something. You have like a little bit of spell you can use innate. That's fairly easy to come to regain, not much. But an arcane caster then you need to have like kind of rest that is not being threatened or anything like that. You need to be safe in an inn, sleeping in a bed or something like that for like 8 hours at least in order to gain it back. So sleeping under a rock out in the wilderness, being scared of things all the time then it becomes difficult. So that is something. But if you're divine caster, that means that you also need to be able to get in contact with your patron deity or the creature that gives you or the entity that gives you the power, so to speak. So that means that if you're Heronian worshipper and or paladin or something, and then you go into the abyss, you're screwed, so to speak. You're not going to get back any spells and stuff like that. So that means that then it's also risky because you have to communicate, and that communication can be intercepted or overheard or something like that. So that can be affected. And also, if you're a druid or have primal magic, that means that if you're a place devoid of life in any form, that means that no, you're not going to get your spells. And so there are other aspects to it as well as just time and difficulty. There are other difficulties too. So arcane casters are in some ways worse off because they require a lot of times the most time in order to get it back. But on the other hand, they can usually recover their spells almost anywhere if they can just find a safe spot and sit down for some time, so to speak. The divine casters can usually brave it out in the wilderness, but the problem is that they need to be able to stay in touch, and the primal casters need to be in nature. So for them, being out in the wood with a forest out there somewhere is probably much better. They don't need to worry about it. They can sleep rough out in the woods and get there in the forest or whatever, and get their spells back in the wilderness, no problem. They can sit and meditate the whole night, whatever, listen to the birds and hear the wolves howl or whatever. So it's very much up to the spellcaster. And some cast spells not using slots. They just use their meta currency. So they use their exertion, I call it. And that means that you can rough it longer, and then worst case scenario, and even characters that use spell slots like wizards and stuff like that, arcane casters and divine casters, they can also resort to that. So you can go a bit like in the Dungeon Crawl Classics. You can literally cast spells until you die. So just because you run out of spell slot doesn't mean that you have to stop casting spells. You can cast until you're bare bones.
So your mage rest 8 hours overnight, how many spells they getting back?
Then they get back all of them.
All of them.
Oh yes, yeah,
Okay.
because that's the trick. It's simply how many spells you can recover. That's the thing. So yeah,
that's like a long rest 5th edition.
Yeah,
okay.
but they on the other hand, in order to get as many spells as you get in regular D&D, you need to be super specialized. You can't do anything else. If you just say I'm going to be the best arcane caster in the world, then you can get what a wizard in D&D gets. So a lot of casters are a little bit less, so to speak. So you need to specialize a lot to get it. But yeah, that's the stuff.
Here's Tiffany's Gemma Winchester, Mage Thief.
Yeah.
Buns up in her hair and stuff. I don't put a traveling up yet because I just use this as I'm assuming there's a traveling. We've only done I don't do in a 4-hour session very many overnight rests, but they do happen occasionally. Once in a blue moon. So,
and Jeff, I basically have the same rules as you. So overnight you can get back 9th level spells. If you take a whole night and then some, you can get back all of your spells if that is unsupported. But that means that you have to have like 9-10 hours of uninterrupted rest.
I think what it's meant to balance is 9th level spells are obviously ultra powerful, and so you don't want to just turn into an artillery walking artillery unit.
Yeah, and
Why
by
not?
rule, for you can't have them in traveling spell books either. Nice.
Yeah, but you also have another aspect that is often forgotten. Components, I think, is one of these things that could be used to limit spell casting quite a bit. That is often overlooked, and people say, "Oh, yeah, you just have it, and then you can just use it." So
there's
components,
that pinch back guano.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That was the other part in Hawk Tales, that I introduced a whole bunch of other components. So high level magic have a lot of components that could be tricky and require other stuff. You age when you cast them, or all sorts of weird things that happen. So yeah.
Michael's coming.
That's why I have the ritual magic, where instead you're not really studying it, you're really doing a ritual to generate the energies of that spell safely.
Yep.
Then you just reserve that, and you're carrying it internally, ready to release it. And you can always cast that spell on the fly if you want to.
If you want to risk it in the Tim world.
Yeah. Maybe it's important.
Yeah. And ritual magic, I think, is cool. And in Hawk Tales, that means that you can cast ritual stuff, but it means it would take at least 10 minutes or sometimes an hour or two to cast a spell. So it's magic use, but not in combat, so to speak.
But I would say I would treat it, all spells are rituals. It's just that if you sacrifice time, it's safe.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's dangerous. But it's the same thing. You're just trying to whip it out instead of building up the power slowly and carefully.
Michael, a mage camps out with his party for 8 hours out in the wilderness. How many spells can he get back?
For 8 hours. So I assume this is after a day of adventuring, so he's expended them all?
Yeah, expended. Say he's expended most of the spells,
Oh, man, put me on the spot.
I'm just curious.
Well, what's your game? What do you say?
Yeah, no, it's not come up yet since we resumed playing AD&D. So
just the reason
I would say, what's it? The Dungeon Master's Guide. Somebody in chat just said it was like Dungeon Master's Guide 40. I saw on my way home. 15
minutes per level, but that's after 8 hours of rest.
Ah, gotcha.
That's 8 hours of rest, then 15 minutes per level. Correct,
so
Tim?
2/3 level spells would take an hour and a half.
Yes, that's 9.5 hours.
Yeah. But I like I have the basic idea that Jeff had, like an hour per spell level, so to speak.
I mean,
so 1 hour for cantrips and then an hour plus spell level is roughly where I want to have it. So 10 hours for 9th level, and
I want the players to enjoy themselves. So that's it. And then there's magic items like rings of sustenance.
Then you should listen to Tim and just go with it. Yeah.
That's right.
So it's something that came up as a question.
I think it's an important part, because it sets the pace long term for your campaign. So depending on how gritty or how fast you want to move things, and it's an interesting obstacle. And as a DM, I think for long term campaign play is a really vital part of campaign flow, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to also get a pace, because if magic users start running out of spells and they're out of action, it gets real boring as a mage to be like, oh,
Yep.
I'll go hit him with my staff. That's
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
You know.
I prefer throwing daggers.
I was
Yeah.
to say, or darts.
Yeah, or darts. Like, wow.
Yes.
You know, and you're fragile already, so
Yep.
somebody sneezes and you're at critical. So
Yes, but you should
try
be
to
using
balance
a
it.
brain.
No, it's like Jeff was saying, because we were tuned in while I was on the road. Yeah, Jeff was talking about, it's that balance between granularity and still having fun at the table.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would say too, like when I played in Jay's campaign, I played Illusionist Thief, which already is challenging. And going into combat, it's like, oh, yeah, you can try and use illusions, but the fact that I had the flexibility to just spellcast whatever I had and use that same spell, like chromatic, and we were using Unearthed Arcana with the chromatic orb, so I could actually do stuff, and that was fun. If I couldn't, if we played strict
old
1E, it's like I'm just going to stand over here and like Tim said, throw daggers or use my mind.
Hey, I survived in levels 1 through 3 that way.
Chromatic orbs are one good thing about Unearthed Arcana is they added some oomph to some certain classes that needed it. Yeah, take notice about me. You're making a gnome illusionist thief, because they're the only ones that can be, because elves can't be illusionists. Yeah, so you'd have to make a gnome illusionist thief or a dual class human illusionist thief, but then you're not gonna have So
tell you what, I wish I had gotten a critical hit with that damn thing. I wanted to take that villainous out so bad.
Oh yeah, because well, that's Amanda. Show me the dice. And remember how crazy her character is Farah, right? I think she had Farah in that one. She wanted to kick and she got away. So yeah, that's coming back. She's coming back. Yep, that was awesome. All right, that was a great question. Let's think of some other things that can be you hate her. That's all. That's good. Keep on saying that, because this weekend I may throw something up with her. Absolutely, because I forgot my wife is out Saturday night. She's at the Phillies game with her aunt, so now I have a free next 2 free Saturdays in a row. It's crazy. So we'll see if I do something Saturday night instead of the morning.
Let me know if you need a sponsor.
Of course, I always need sponsors. You know that, man, all the time. For God, yeah. Revenge. All right. Think of a topic of consternation. I've come up with a couple of them. We did class level limits, which I hate. I like class limits for like the assassin, the bard.
Race access to classes.
Yes.
Basic. I think one of the
100%
key elements of D&D is classes in themselves are the biggest constraint in the game, because that kind of say this thing you need to be this in order to be able to do that, and that limits a lot of things, and you play iconic. So class as the concept is one of the biggest constraints of the game, mechanics wise, so to speak, and set the tone for a lot of games. And I'm not saying classes are bad, because I have eliminated them out of my rule set because they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. But on the other hand, classes are there for a reason, because they make the game really cool.
I meant races though, like no Hobbit wizards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. 3rd edition, when I had a lot of those living ground people playing, they gave me a lot of shit about it too. And I said, "You're playing my game, so I'm
totally
not
it's goofy. Come on,
Hobbit paladin
just running around. No,
it's no. Give me a break.
Like dwarven wizards and stuff like that.
And a lot of people go, "Well, this isn't freaking Lord of the Rings, right?" And I'm like, I don't care. It's his 1st edition.
But everyone knows hobbits are from Lord of the Rings, so they should just drop it.
Right. And here's the great thing. We kind of are sticking to this so far with the Milk Book, the old school things, but without shoving it in anyone's face. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we're not having any, gnome. Bigby's not a gnome running around throwing. You understand? We're just gonna do our thing and ignore stuff that's not. This is GREYHAWK, old school, kind of the idea. Stick to your archetype. But I don't mind creating classes for races that are unique and fun for them. Like the Halfling Guardian is a great class right out of the Dragon magazine, right?
Yeah.
We have the Dwarf Shield Thane. It's a great class. Dwarven Defender, like similar. You know, we have I have enough half ogre as fighter. Half ogres can be specialty priests. Half ogres can be bounty hunters, bandits, right? So we got some other, even, you know, we got some variety there. But like for us in fifth edition, all races, all classes, it's just not the way we do it. So yeah, thank you there, Michael. Maybe it's just really short. That's funny. How many of you used the dwarf gnome rule of magic item failure? I just like it and it's gone in mine. I don't even remember it. The magic
It's
item.
like you have to save, I guess, when you take a potion.
Oh, to see if it even works.
Right.
Wow. I do not use that at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not use it. Are you going to avoid the things WotC that no one likes? So Dale, it's very limited in scope and area, so we don't have to worry about discussing it. If it's not in the adventure, we're not caring about the whole world. We're caring about what we're doing in the area that we're doing it, and that's the Shieldlands and the Horn Society. Okay, so yeah, that's the way you get around it. So that makes sense. So there's plenty of variety. The Living Greyhawk people were a little, but my last couple generation of player groups, no issues. The ladies have been great. I mean, because there's dwarf. We have a dwarf fighter, we have a dwarf shield thane. You know, we got half elven out the wazoo mage thieves. We got shadow mages. We got elves. You know, it's fun. You know, and there's enough options here.
I'll tell you what, the witch that we played with was kick-ass. That class was really well done.
Thank you. And that's Timothy Brannan's witch.
Yes, I got it. As soon as I played, I was like, I got to get that.
Yeah. And his warlock's good too. And we play tested that already. I've NPC'd it, and we had he played Ravulu Dreadmane. Another gentleman, he played the warlock. So we've play tested both of them. And Tim has always been a witch. Tim's been a witch person well before I was.
That sounds bad.
No,
but it's good.
But it's good.
It sounds good. I mean, that's the thing.
I have actually in the barbarian campaign, as far as being a wise man or wise woman, there were like 4 different varieties of witch classes from different sources.
Yeah.
You could have ended up being like a wise woman, you know, out on the as a rover somewhere.
I was using that primarily for the Elven tribes and the Frostwood in my campaign, where it was basically Grugach tribes, and it's like you don't go there. You're trespassing. They want you out, and they were all being run by that. And that's a big primary class, but that source book was really, really well done. And just watching it play with the curses she was throwing out in our adventure, it was like, oh damn. So
an example of I did a regional thing where when we did our Vespi campaign, especially druids, Serenus, Rolthane Ralphil, the Master of the Hunt, which is I do the Malar one from Forgotten Realms, and Alana, and now they've kind of spread out into the campaign setting. Also the Avenger class too, right? From there, it started there and kind of as a test, and now Gianna has an Avenger character, which I really love that character. It's kind of very weak physically, but they can change it to some monster forms and stuff. So it's just you play test it, and if it works, then you expand on it. And that's where Jeff, the witches thing though, that's where I am on witches and warlocks. It's always a constant play test, and thank God Myriad's so good at playing them, right? Mm-hmm. Just so I know she's going to experiment with spells. So her spell book's kind of fluid.
Yeah.
So I'm letting her change out spells because I want to see what they're going to do in the game. That's the only way to test it, you know, because you saw that book Timothy Brown has. There's hundreds of spells, hundreds of them.
Well, that book really digs not just into class as a play, but also the RP side of it. He did his homework.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, from my own personal experience in that area, he did his homework. I'm reading it and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a thing. Oh, I know where he got that from. Some of his spell components, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely know where that came from. But he did a really good job, but a lot of that is RP. Some of those spells, it's like, are you going to use that in a dungeon? No, but if you're in a town, if you're trying to influence people, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is
it's
good.
It's
Man.
not all
She's
hack
really
and
good at it.
slash.
Yeah.
And one thing, Anna, she's like, I want to use block the seed. I just haven't had an opportunity yet.
Yeah, the fertility, infertility. Well, when you have if there's some lord you don't like, you can make sure they don't have offspring, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was exactly the spell I was thinking of when I read that. I went, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew exactly where he got that from.
Yeah. Jeff, I think that you touched to something that I think is important to this, is that how mechanical should magic be, so to speak? For some people, you want to have magic should be more magical, meaning it should
Yeah.
be more thematic, up to DM interpretation, and not so much quantified and mathicized, so to speak, and put math in there and stuff. So and that is something also you want in some cases you want, and some groups you love to have a rule set is more thematic, more kind of up to tuning the situation, DM adjudication and stuff like that. And others want a crunchy rule set where the magic is I roll this many dice, I apply this much plus, and if the monster rolls whatever above something, it has no effect, or and stuff like that. So saving throws. So, and that is something that is important to. And even within the rule set, when you make your own spells and stuff, meaning how thematic or how crunchy spells need to be and should be, so to speak. And sometimes a spell can stick out because it's not crunchy enough, or it's overly crunchy and or stuff. So that is something that you need to. It's one of these aspects that you normally don't think about. That I think is really important. That you get the amount of crunchiness, especially in things like spells, magic items, and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And curses is one of these things that are very thematic in some games and very crunchy in others.
Curses are sneaky.
Yeah.
Because on the face value, you go, oh, that's not much. But when they start stacking, it can change the game. You have a villain who's under a bunch of curses, and you start messing up their rolls. What could have been a one-sided fight starts getting a little dicey for the DM, and it's like, oh.
And should player characters, meaning should players, meaning curses ties into player autonomy. All of a sudden, the characters being taken over by the DM and run by the DM and attacking the companions and stuff. That is perfectly fine in some games with some groups, and other groups like, no, we don't want that. I own my character and nothing. And that is something that you need to. It's something that think about it and
suggestion spell with like a word.
Yeah, exactly. and it's thematic. And also there's also variants I've seen that things that the players, wizards and spellcasters, it affects differently when it's applied to player characters. And in Hawk Tales, I've done some of that because I want the player agency to be bigger than the monster agency, so to speak. And they function differently, like intimidation, for instance. Instead of having something that'll say, okay, you failed your save, so now you need to attack that one or whatever. If the enemy, then I simply say it that if you attack, you have advantage. To attack. So it's
You're
kind of
easing into it. It's not quite cut and dry.
Exactly. So it's more like I'm tempting the player to get into it. And it had worked in some cases, but it also makes it weaker. So so I'm not sure if it stays or not, but I try to avoid compelling players to do things, so to speak.
Trivia question for the party, for everyone here. The ultimate advantage could be given by what in first edition?
Ultimate advantage.
The ultimate advantage to a character.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
Be given with what during first edition? What's up, Curtis?
Advantage in what way?
That was a magic item you said you never ever give it.
Roll twice on your saves, roll twice on all your hit rolls, roll twice on all your damage.
Being the dungeon master's girlfriend.
That's a good one.
Well, that's a good one.
Good. That's a great one, Michael. Yep.
It's a creature in Fiend Folio.
I was going to say pseudo dragon as a familiar.
You guys don't remember.
Yep.
Come on.
Fiend Folio?
Yeah. There.
Yeah,
It's like
I've been on both sides of that, Mike.
Does it
so
have
that was
like a
good
gem
one.
on its
Yeah.
head?
No.
No.
No. Here we go. It is. Yeah, I'll bring it. I'll bring it up.
Uh-oh.
Yellow musk creeper.
Yes, that's exactly it. There it
Oh.
is.
Tween.
The
The
tween.
The tween. Okay.
I don't even accept that as a creature.
You talked about the tween at least once
Yep.
before on the show, but I forgot
Tween.
what we talked about. But I remember we talked about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only thing I remember about the tween is I always thought that was the model for the Titan LJN action figure.
That looks like a reject from a Star Trek episode idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
The tween. Yeah.
So are they screwed up? Are they broken mechanically, or what's the issue?
Yeah. Well, so you got to. So here's the thing. It says here like, as a result, any character or creature with a tween partner has 2 dice rolls instead of 1. Whenever a die roll is called for, it may select the more advantageous of these rolls.
It's
Advantage.
by
So
the
it gave you
advantage or disadvantage.
This is
So
what I was gonna say.
when would you ever have this happen?
Well, here's the thing. This is why it's so funny. In contrast with a tween, it has a beneficial effect on its actions. Any other creature, friend or foe, human or otherwise, within 50 feet, has disadvantage.
Oh, it's a. Oh.
Ah.
All your friends.
But this is interesting because a lot of people probably don't think about it mechanics this way. But if you have disadvantage and advantage versus giving bonuses, disadvantage and advantage, the good thing, it gives you a bonus, but it constrains you within the same. So that one of the really cool things with advantage and disadvantage means that your chances of succeeding with something goes up or down, but you can't succeed at anything more than you normally could. If you're given a bonus, that means that you can succeed at higher numbers, and you can use both in a game system. So sometimes you can get a numerical bonus like +2 or +4 or something like that, or sometimes you can give it an advantage or disadvantage, because that gives you 2 different things that normally it's not really apparent until you think about it. For at least I need to think about it for a little while. But
just throwing something out there.
Yeah.
I like the 2 dice. There's a 2 dice thing in Warhammer. Certain weapons have a characteristic called impact, where they hit harder than normal.
Yeah.
And you roll two damage dice and you pick the higher one.
Yeah, because that means that you get a higher average, but you don't get a higher peak, so to speak. So,
Right.
which is
It's
still balanced, but better. So yeah.
I got 2 of
That's
the
a
3
good one.
players from the morning yesterday. I got Curtis and Tiffany on. So here, real quick, characters that leveled. Aaron Coldwell, now 8th level specialty priest of Ilmater, 5/8 dual class human. 79 hit points now. Helia Anastos, 7/7. She went up in Shadow Mage. There you go. Gained I think 3 hit points. And Garrick, the weird 6/8 Ranger Mage, because of the way the class is, and he doesn't have 10% bonus in Ranger, but he has it in Mage. So you got 49 hit points now. So you went up in Mage. Yep. That is, I got a little experience done finally. Yes. All right. Any other questions from the audience as we're winding this down?
Yeah.
As you see, this wasn't a lot of fighting. A little bickering here and there.
Well, I wanted to fight.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did.
Is that why I was invited to be a buffer?
We weren't talking smack about the additions yet. We didn't go there. So
well, we went there, but in different ways. Yeah.
I put in wars. I put or not in the title.
Yeah. Just for sport.
Just for sport.
Not for real. Yeah. I played 5th edition, and I played.
You played in my games and twice even,
games,
and
once. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even sure. I had a really bad streak of rolls in that last one. Woo.
Yeah.
Oh, all of us. I believe we survived that one.
Oh, you did. Yeah.
Jeff, what are you DMing at Concoction? What are you playing?
Doing it's Web of Chaos. Doing the prequel. It's a 3-hour shot. So players basic.
Sold out?
No, I've got 2 seats open.
Okay.
What
edition?
I'll see if my son can get in.
5.5 light. I kind of streamlined some of the action bonus action stuff.
All right. How about you, Tim? You sold out?
My Aftermath game Friday night is, I think I have seats for my reverse dungeon Saturday morning. The continuation from the page.
Oh,
adventure.
okay. All right.
I won't be happy till Hamlet has been burned to the ground by the goblins.
You and John from Blue Box always just like, I'm going to destroy Hamlet.
Well, his was just weird out of the blue. I don't know where that was from.
Yeah.
It's different if you're the characters doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of funny in the reverse dungeon. Yeah. And then the joust, I still have 6 seats open, but we have 8 signups, including I think Michael, you and your son are both in.
Yes, we're in. Yep.
In the grand joust, we'll be giving away a trophy. Yeah. So what's the basic is easy? Hey Jeff, basic is easy. Holmes Basic was always super easy to play. But I don't know. I just think like Tiffany, you haven't had much trouble playing my game, right? So it's really easy. Just as a DM, you take whatever system you're playing in, DMing it, and you add your own nuances, you add your own depth to it, you add the crunch you want, you add the RP aspect, you add the storyline. Thank you for following that, Richard. You add everything in, and then you just continually play test. Every adventure I run's a play test. I gave out an item I never thought I'd give out, Jeff. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to that point, so I ran a one-shot. It was a Penangalan as the main villain. She was masquerading as a vinegar merchant. And the players don't realize, but at the end, she's the end boss. And this was 5-5. And there was a character, one of my players had, and I asked you about this because it really threw me. But they wound up like doing a Nova action where they got a lot of extra bonus actions. They wound up having 6 attacks. And I just had to go, wait, what? And it was legit.
Yeah.
It was legit. And initially, I was really soured by 5-5. At that point, that's when I started to really lean hard into 1E, and I'm like, screw this. I'm back to 1E. None of this, I get 50,000 attacks. It's one attack. You better pray to whatever gods you believe in and make it count. And then I look back at my notes, and I'm like, it was the first time I ran the adventure. I didn't have a lot of prep. And I look back, I'm like, I really screwed this up. This villain should have been a lot stronger. And if I had played it smarter, it would have gone much more challenging. At the end of the day, everybody had fun. Nobody complained. Nobody felt it was thin. But as the DM, I'm walking away. And it goes to what you were saying about play testing and really looking at what you've got and how the players interact with that. And making sure, like, have I played this villain, this character, this monster to the full set, or did I miss something? Did I forget? And like the players called me out because at one point there's an NPC druid, and they're like, "Is the druid doing anything?" And I'm like, "No, he's checking his cell phone." Like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me heal you. Because I got caught up in the action. But it does require some playtest and thinking, and it's very easy to get jaded on a system, especially if you miss one or two things.
Right,
so you can't go by just one thing.
Absolutely. And there's hey, what's up, Jeremy? I was telling about the game I ran of yours at GaryCon that I played in. So and that's the thing is that as a DM, we're all going to make mistakes, right? We're gonna do something like I forgot to like. I'll give you an example. The game on Saturday, Rachel, who has a vet, her priest of Saint Benedor, she when she did the last adventure, when she killed the Death Knight, got a reliquary of Saint Benedor that he was holding, and it has the capability of a flame strike on it, like once per week. It's on her sheet, but I completely forgot to tell her. Look at that! So she could have used that spell, and it would have really helped,
right,
in a spot. But that's but it was on her sheet. So, but I blame myself for not pointing it out.
Well, you're supposed to read those things.
That's true. That's true, Tim. But it's nice of me to say, hey, don't forget this item you just got, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
And again, it goes back to, did everybody have fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and you did it right.
Yeah, true.
That's the basic rule in all of TTRPGs.
But I'll give you another one too. Amanda I always forget because I made a change to the archer rules because I don't like that elves get +1 with the bow and then all archers have the bows are extra plus. I only do the arrows now, but I always the last 3 times her archer I always forget to add the plus in the damage for the extra arrow. she's shooting +1 arrows. She's getting +2 damage with them added into all her other pluses. And she's like, shouldn't it be +5 instead of +4? And like, oh my gosh, she's correcting me. Now my guys would never correct me because they don't, because they're, the tuna fish sandwiches are out.
So
You know
that
what I'm
mean that
saying?
you could give out whatever and they will
Well, no,
never.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that she's astute enough to catch that, and I was actually making a mistake after I've been playing for 46 years.
There you go.
That's
Yep.
the Archer's
But
the
Jay,
first.
you run too much of a high service game. You do all the work, and then you just you need to offload way more work.
It's
to
the
players.
control, Anna. It's the control.
There you go. Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Control.
Yeah.
Game runs well. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Do not reinvent the wheel. Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate that. But just
I'm the opposite. As a GM, I want as little control as possible.
Michael, you're awfully quiet the second half, man.
Oh, I'm enjoying being in the chat. That's what I usually do. So
yeah.
I honestly, I'm just happy to be here. So I'm like that guest.
It's so good to have you here.
Yeah.
We should have you more often. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You're a sponsor of the channel, man. Frog God is a huge sponsor of the channel.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. One of my colleagues once said, "It's funny once you start working in role playing, how much you don't play."
That is
so.
Yeah. Right now, I'm in that spot too.
Yeah.
I have so much work to do that I'm kind of don't have time to.
I did not want to tell Jay that before he started because I didn't want him to go, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to write for GREYHAWK then."
Yep.
What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it affects your gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did not want to influence him that way because I was excited about the prospect. So
yeah, but it's actually true. Yeah, for me it's true too. I'm kind of
All right, so final thoughts here. Give us something if you want to, if you have one, something that you're like, this is, I do it this way, and I don't care if anyone else does it any other way. I know we all have stuff like that. I know Tim does. Like your critical hits, like your or how.
Sorry, say that again. My son was over here.
I do this way, and I don't care if anyone else doesn't. People don't do it the same way as me, right? As a DM, I mean, for me, I got a lot of that stuff.
What do I do that's that?
No, there's something you're proud of that you've incorporated into your game. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, the crits.
Proud of. The crits.
I think the crits and in the proficiencies, I like that.
Yeah. And your spell targets, fumbles and crits on spells. I don't know another first edition DM that does that.
I mean, why should fighters get all the risk and glory?
Yeah. Understood. Michael, anything you can think of?
No, I am quite vanilla in AD&D. I will say I have incorporated a lot, not many instances of them, but I have allowed many of the Dragon magazine classes. I've allowed. I think the Dragonlance Adventures book is the only one I don't own, so I've allowed pretty much anything when it's justified or given a good reason from a player. Other than that, I will say this, unpopular opinion, we don't use crits because as a player, I always saw it as you're in every combat. So mathematically, it will catch up to you. So
That's rule.
Right. Yeah. So,
and you should choose your fights carefully.
That's correct. That's correct.
But that's very useful because that means that you use that.
But there are
that a rule can appear to be good for the players, but
and I like
not.
the way Jay handles with the other spells added in to make up for them or to help recover from them. Yeah. So for now, especially since my younger two are both under 13, I don't recommend it at that level, but I believe in the next couple of years I'll probably start to. I've got Jay's printed out crit chart that he gave me a couple years ago, so it will probably get some use.
I was a teenager before the crits were happening.
So we started the crits with what was it? Roger Moore's chart. Whoever made that chart up in Dragon, it was like a 1 to 20. And then Alan always expanded on them and stuff. And then, we got the groin poles.
So now you 1 to D1000 or no?
It's 1 to 100. It's 1 to
Yeah,
100.
just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I remember is the D100s.
Yeah, we've had some. To use the same crit shot for
Oh, yeah,
PCs and
percentage.
monsters. There's
I need to get a copy of that. I'll have to go.
Jeff, it's no problem. Let me see. I got them right here. No.
I keep saying about everything Jay has. I want the class list.
Fumble charts.
Jay's is like going to a toy store when you're a kid. It's like, because number one, he has everything. Okay, let's be honest. If you've been to his basement, you look around and you go, this is what like Toys R Us looked like in the 80s and 90s, man. It was like everything.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, our Fiend Folio still has the Kitty City sticker on it, I think.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Look, if you went to Tim's basement, you get real weapons.
That's true.
I mean, just, don't grab them by the, So the fumble tables, there's some tables that are separate, but the critical hit tables, the fumble tables, there's one against non-like human types, for monsters, like, if a gelatinous cube fumbles, it's not going to be the same. So there's a separate column for that. So that's the answer to your question. Rasco, stolen some of your classes, and I have no problem with that, man. I have no problem with that. So, Jeff, anything else you want to say? You're
I would say pretty proud of, honestly, the work that I've done on the background of the Dacia 10, even though it's pre-Ashes of Greyhawk, to flesh that out and have a world that when I go in and I say, hey, we're playing in this area, I've got everything. They can't go a place that I haven't already got a couple of things laid out. That and some of the magic items that I've been coming up with. First edition, Cloak of Wondrous Space, Rod of Disguise, Self. Because Jay's got those from 40 years ago, so
the Scepter of Disguise and the Cloak of Wondrous Space. Yeah. And the Player Blades.
Then those will be making a return in my campaigns to come, but I'd say background, world building, and some of the magic items.
And anything you're proud of?
For me, well, my maps is the stuff that of course that I guess that's the reason I'm sitting here, so to speak, and to do it. But it's I've turned my over prepping habit into my career. But when it comes to things that I feel that I've developed that I'm proud of for my own games in order to make them better, is that I've started to look critically up on how I run my own games, and in order to make them better for myself and for my players. So that's something I could, meaning don't just because something, meaning start thinking, what do I want to get out of my games? And then try to figure out how do I get out of them? And also the other critical, even harder bit, what do you think your players want out of it? And how do you deliver so they get out what they want out of it, so to speak? And these are things, and the rule set and play style, I think, are two very important bits there, so to speak, meaning, do you want to use a lot of miniatures, or do you want to use theater of the mind or whatever, and choose? Do you want to play CNC, Shadow Dark, or first AD&D, or whatever tool you want to use? What rule set you use, so to speak, and then house rule it. Meaning Jay is a perfect example of house ruling things to get it into where you want, and Tim the same way. So these are advice that I want to, and it took me decades to get there. But eventually I started getting there, and that meant that I needed to go the rabbit hole of trying to develop my own rule set for and it's my hobby. So right now it's been in hiatus for since GaryCon, but I'm getting back to it in
and please
not too distant future. Yeah.
Please note that Tim's the original creator of the Mongrels of the Putrid Tongue.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Yep. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Enough of this shit. Give him the tongue. Thanks for the lick.
I could play that 1,000. So graphic.
Well, you have soon played it 1,000 times, but it is good. Yeah.
Yes. See,
Michael, that was awesome.
That's always set there for when in an adventure a mongrel cuts a tongue out. Hasn't happened in a
That
long
never
time.
gets old for me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the mass raspberry spell. I love raspberries. That's an awesome spell, Mike.
Raspberry.
Yeah.
So, wow, getting 90 people, and thanks all. And so, I want to thank everyone for coming on, man. This is a fun discussion.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This
Yeah.
is the 6th stream of the week. So I'm just like, I didn't want to do over prep. I didn't have to for this one. Just wanted to talk about, some of the things that makes our editions unique and all. And said I pulled a ton of stuff like poo poo and caca. I mean, come on, that's straight from Tim.
We all been 15 years old.
We've all, right from Tim, right from Tim. Ichabod, right from Tim. So, all those names. So it's been, it's been a fun
Poo and
discussion.
caca.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They came right from, an event, the Wizard of Adventure. One of the best adventures we ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, the Wizard of Invisible skeletons and plate mail in that adventure. Don't go off the Yellow Brick Road either.
Don't go off the Yellow Brick Road.
Do not go off the Yellow Brick Road.
Do not do it.
Yes. At the very end, you fight a 30th level wizard.
But he's crazy, so it helps.
Yes, that was one of the best. Yeah, and I even talk about that in the Gazumba description down below for the character. Yeah, so those wonderful memories as a kid. Also, Dark Tower, which Tim ran for me with Hawk and Gazumba, one of the best adventures ever. Janelle Jacquays wrote. It's just so fantastic.
Horrifying.
It is horrifying, but it is a fantastic adventure.
It's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so an announcement, which we have a tentative date, which is going to be July 11th, which is the Saturday after the 4th of July, the next 24-hour stream, or the stream that we start and until we finish. Start at 8 o'clock in the morning, we go till we finish, whatever time it is. I'm going to run Fortress Elendar.
Oh,
nice.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I'm going to run Fortress Elendar, and Ed wants to play. So there you go.
Cool.
So yes, Tiffany I know wants to play too, as long as your schedule works.
I will probably be able to play in that.
Yeah. All right, man.
Nice.
With the Penoy Archers and the Bombard and the whole storyline on that thing is unbelievable. Yes. Yeah, Tim. If you're able to play July, is your wife out of the country?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. You gotta remember.
As a matter of fact,
Geograph of the Bachelor.
Tim, you will
Nothing
just
else on my time.
you will just hang out in the basement for 24 hours.
If that July 11th works for you, then we'll set it in stone. Because so if you all know, the very first 24-hour stream, Tim was in my house in my basement for the entirety of the 24 hours we streamed. It was actually 20. Yeah, all 3 adventures, everything. He was there the entire time.
I did take a small break to sleep like 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Did you? Was it 4 or 5 or was it an hour? I took like a 30-minute nap while you were on in the middle of the night. Curtis was on with us like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, maybe it was just maybe it was an hour or 2.
We were so punch drunk at the end of that. But that
I would lay on the floor between my rolls between a turn, face down on the floor.
Yeah.
Wake me up when I have to roll something.
Yeah, absolutely. So instead, year 1 we did 3 separate adventures. That was way too much to coordinate. Last year we did Baltran Speaking. This year we're going to do Fortress Elendar, which is a classic by Jeffrey Dillo. Just unbelievable. I have the original one I wrote up and all. So
what level are we doing?
I don't know yet. My guess is 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's about right for it.
I saw you sharing that off your wall yesterday.
Yeah, the wall. Yeah, absolutely. I showed it off. I have a sealed copy I got a few years back. It's on my Wall of Fame. But I have my photocopied one from Tim's old one in this pile right here with all my notes on everything.
Yep, it's your fault. I own that now.
Yeah, that's a great adventure. So yeah, but that's something. Just want to announce that, and then so we got a lot of other stuff coming up too.
Cool.
So yep. And that I'll have 2 cons in between all that too. So all right. Anyone else want to shout anything out? Just note. Next stream will be Wednesday night, and we don't know what the Legends of War is going to be yet. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. But I just couldn't even make any banners for next week. And now we're working behind the scenes. I forgot my wife is away Saturday night, so it's Thursday night, and then either Saturday morning or maybe Saturday evening. I don't know. But I know at least Thursday. I'm working on it. We may have a guest who hasn't played in a long time on Thursday night as well. A woman too. everyone's gonna love. So, and she's got a character. She's got a priestess of Arleth of Therinal, the Drow Hunter. Yes.
I have one shout out, if I might.
Of course, for Frog God.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. So our next Kickstarter is the Necromancer's Game Expansion 2. So it's the Necromancer's Game is Bill Webb's take on original D&D, but it's very AD&D friendly, just like original D&D and all that.
To this.
Yes, sir. Expansion to
this
that.
It's a heavy box.
Yes. Yeah, that'll stop a bullet, probably.
Yeah, it'll stop a lot of stuff. Yeah. So this is from the first Kickstarter.
We'll have to test it.
Necromancer's Game.
You know what? I was thinking.
You can make that happen, Tim. Yep.
I have a spare copy.
I bet you'll stop Tim's angel sword too.
No? No, I don't think so.
No, cut right through that.
Probably.
Yes. So
I can throw out a quick shout out as well for stuff on DM's Guild. I've got several 5e adventures, so check that out. Or if you're looking for a map for the Duchy of 10, there's a nice one. It's inspired by Anna's awesome maps. So.
Oh, but it's enhanced. I've seen it. It looks really, really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a lot of titles on there now, man. Congrats.
That's what I love when people take my stuff and make their own version of it. It's awesome. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah.
Oh, your stuff inspired me to be pulled back into this, and the graphics on that are from the old SPI war games, the textures and stuff, way back in the 70s. So
cool.
It's like a definite throw.
Awesome.
But
what about this down the road? I don't know if we could even do this. A board game session streamed of either Divine Right.
Oh, you're singing my song now.
Or War of the Ring. I think Divine Right will be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a scenario in Divine Right.
I also have oh shoot, what was the name of it?
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Swords and
the one that had the
I have them
the
all
valley
right back there. They're all back there. Sword and Sorcery. Which one? Kingmaker?
I think it's called Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah. One sec here. One sec.
I can remember when we played it upstairs at your house.
It has the card of Gygax Dragon lore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
remember that. You can summon the SS Viking division.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, and it's like an armored tank division in medieval combat.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I never heard of that one.
It was.
I can't hear you, Jay.
It was part war game and part.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was part war game and part where you could have your heroes get into individual combat.
Yeah.
It was pretty unique.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
Same
like
thing
the
Right?
battle system game, right?
Yeah, Divine
You could do
Right.
that.
I think Divine Right would be the best one because there's scenarios in here that we could do in a couple hours. The War of the Ring game can go days. This is though the penultimate. This is unpunched, by the way, everyone.
I remember I played that game and won it in like 4 rounds.
Right, because I remember what happened. They all died.
They found them. The Nazgul came and killed them.
And back, that was it. Yep, that can happen in the game too.
Roll credits.
Yeah, but that they're all.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. Concoctions in 4 weeks. 4 weekends, isn't it?
Good. I need 4 weeks.
9th, 16th,
Yeah,
23rd,
I need to get
30th,
my
4
map
weeks.
ready.
Yeah. So that was all a fun discussion tonight. It was just fun. We had a good.
That was good.
Yeah.
We just talked and we had a nice time. That was it. Just
Thanks for letting me in twice.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yes.
So 2 giveaways. Exclamation point drawing. Please get in. And we're gonna rate a Marquee Gaming because they're having as Rachel and Mark played yesterday. By the way, they both did very well. Both characters. Rachel's character basically saved the NPC Carly. She went up. Carly charged the 2 dragons because I ran an old dare. Tim, remember Ruins of Old Dare? I ran that and the bottom level of it, and then she came up and she saved her. So they're running an end game fight right now. So we're gonna raid in a Marquee. So all right, here 2 things. Choice of 2 of these. Where the hell did they go? 2 of these for Classic D&D reprints. All the dice that were one of the weekend are going out to a whole bunch of great stuff, and or a $25 gift certificate to Frog Guy Games. So, and you will give Michael can either put it in your Twitch chat or in Discord, either one. So, all right.
Yep.
Experts are drawing. Let's see who wins. Ta-da! Thanks for a great show.
Thank you, and thank you everybody for being here.
We gotta have you guys on more. I'm
yeah,
serious.
and special thanks to Jeff and Michael. It was awesome to have you both here. Yep.
Yeah, Tim's more of a Tim. Yeah, Tim's.
Yeah,
Tim's
Tim,
like
you're like
Tim's
a regular
Len.
co-host, so
Tim's
he's like
Len
me.
Lakofka.
Yeah.
He comes on whenever he wants. Yeah. So.
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to
Tim.
meeting Jeff because I saw him at Page, but I didn't meet him, so I'll have to introduce myself at Concoction.
Absolutely. I've got the Friday night D&D session, and then Saturday I've got an all-day Starfleet Battles Exhibition tournament.
That's so cool, though.
We'll see if anybody shows. I've got one guy who says he's definitely coming, and I said, you know what? If we don't get anybody, you and I are just going to play a scenario and let people watch and go like, what is this?
That's it, man. That's it.
Cool.
So, hey, Jeff, when is your Friday night game?
7 o'clock. 7 to 11.
All right. Well,
so we can go get coffee. We'll go get coffee after.
Well, I'll be doing my Aftermath game same time.
Yeah,
Aftermath.
So you'll miss people getting shot in the face. So
I'll be getting shot in the face.
No, actually, not in this scenario. It's the zombie apocalypse. So,
roll, man.
All right.
Pat,
I'll be shooting zombies in the face.
Pat 66.
If you're lucky.
Wait, I don't see Pat 66 in the chat log. So we're gonna pick another one. Unless he claims, I don't see him. He's not in the chat log. All right. So if he doesn't come on, and if he's not on 30 seconds, we'll do an extra. Here we go. Second winner is Dragster1. Dragster1. Make sure Dragster1 is in chat. Dragster1 is in chat there. Dragster, what do you want? You want the 2 of your choice, or do you want the $25 gift certificate if he's in? He's in chat. So, yeah, Dragster, which one do you want? Are you, I always forget, you US based. So, just let me know. Whatever I got U1 and I got U1 and I thought U1 and U2. Where'd it go? Oh my God. N1, I got Cult of the Reptile God and Tomb of the Lizard King. They're awesome. Let me know, Dragster. And then, we're going to go to the third pick. I just need to know, Dragster, what your options are. We go last one. So the special guest for Thursday is like, I need more of the ladies on, but I think most of them are able to play except for Tiffany. Is that Savage Splendor or Gratz? All right, he's on. I know he is. So, yep, Savage. What'd you pick, Savage? Since Dragster hasn't, you pick. Do you want two of these, or do you want the Frog God gift certificate? You tell us. Savage, let me know. All right, so Dragster, will you please whisper that over Michael to Dragster1, 25, and then you got it, Dragster, and I got that for Savage, 2 books. How about, do you have treasures, Savage? If not, how about G1 to 3 and Q1 as well? How about that? You just let me know. Let me know and we'll go over it. So, Michael, I'll get you the other ones too. Give me a little time and I'll get them to you. If not tonight, tomorrow, I promise I'll get them to you. Just something.
No problem.
Me being all messed up. All right. Raiden and Marquis, say hello to them, please. Please follow them. They're awesome. Part of the community. So, yes. Your treasures. You think of your dice panel at Page. Oh, yeah, I got your dice for you, too, when you come here in a couple Thursdays. That'd be awesome. All right, see you all soon. Wrong button coming. All right, I'll give you G1 and G1 and Q1. All right, give you both. Awesome stream. Thank you.
Good times.
Yeah,
good times.
Good to see you all again.
Great destruction.
We need to argue more often.
Yeah, this was fun, Tim. It was awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
I felt like this was like we didn't argue enough.
Oh, no, that's good.
Give it time, Tim. Give it time. We're just getting back into practice. Let's go call Walt up and get in the back seat of his car and just have him drive around the block. Give it about 30 seconds.
You should get 2 attacks with a dagger.
3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday.